talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range. Score a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. The Champions League is back on talkSPORT today. Ahead of his first game in the competition, Thomas Frank says he'll give himself 2 minutes to enjoy the anthem.
Of course, we all remember the 99 Man United triple, crazy win against Bayern, the Liverpool Milan 3-3. So there's so many Champions League memories, so many big games.
Spurs host Villarreal tonight. This as Christian Romero admits he was wrong to criticise Tottenham's ambitions last season. He says he just wanted them to act like a big club. The now captain Romero insists he's happy in North London. Meanwhile, Arsenal kick off early in Bilbao, live on talkSPORT 2 from 5 this afternoon. Odegaard's been ruled out. Havertz, White and Jesus also injured. So too Saka, and there's no word on when he'll be back either. Next, the Prime Minister says the Hillsborough Law can change the balance of power in Britain. Plans are finally passing through Parliament. Victims Minister Alex Davies-Jones explains what the legislation will achieve.
It will enable, the ordinary people in our country to have that fair representation at an inquest. It will allow the truth to come out more freely. And if it doesn't, then there will be action taken against those individuals who seek to deliberately mislead or lie about what they knew and about what they sought to cover up.
MPs will debate the bill today. Campaigners are pressing them not to water it down. The British Grand Prix will stage a sprint race next year. Silverstone held F1's first ever sprint back in 2021. It's not been on the schedule since then. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will not play in next week's British Open due to medical reasons. The opening round starts on Monday. There's plenty more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
An arrest warrant's been issued for a former British soldier in connection with the murder of a woman in Kenya, and drones, snipers, mounted police and boat teams are being put in place for Donald Trump's visit. There's more from Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Come rain or shine, we've got your car's inbuilt safety tech covered with expertly trained technicians across the country, so you can drive away happy every time.
Feeling warmer for many of us today with pleasant sunshine, any showers dying out in the north.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT Weather this afternoon. Please tell us, Charlie, what's coming up?
Coming up over the next 3 hours, David O'Leary discusses Arsenal in Europe, goal-shy Villa, and more. Spurs. Oh, yeah.
Spurs?
And more, comma. That's there.
Yeah.
Spurs supporting comedian Joey Page is here. He's funny. And are the stats really pointing to brighter days ahead for Manchester United?
Yeah, the stats are amazing.
Stats are great.
We also want to know what you installed in your garden. You'll be interested to hear what Rod Stewart has installed in his garden, friend of Alan Brazil. And Larry and George Lamb join us to talk about, amongst other things, Dundee United.
Dundee United. There's all this, plus author and Baggies fan Adrien Goldberg. He pops in to chat about his new book. We'll talk to Ipswich Town's Cameron Humphreys.
Yeah.
And another H&B versus Chat GPT.
Yeah, Chat GPT's been working in the world of sport this week.
Yes. He normally has a little job somewhere along
Yeah.
place,
He'll tell us,
he, you know.
in this small radio conceit. He'll tell us more about it later on. But it is 6 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Yeah, like Rod Stewart's story, Paul. You found that he's had a 100-metre track.
His wife Penny did a podcast, and she talked about people can't believe how fit and active he is. He is an amazing fellow. He came in. He looks in great nick. I mean, came on a little while ago with Jim and Simon and got to meet him, and he's in fine fettle.
Yeah. Well, his Glastonbury set was great. I don't know if you saw that. He was superb.
But he is in his garden. I know he's had a football pitch in his garden. He used to play. Maybe that's getting a bit too much, a full 90 minutes of football.
Walking football, maybe.
But we did read a story recently that he wants to break, is it the over 80s record?
Over 80s 100-metre record.
Yeah.
Which currently stands at 14.9.
And with that in mind, he has installed a 100-metre track.
Full track.
Is it a single lane, do you think? So it's just him
Just
against
one?
Him against the clock. Is it a tartan track?
He's
Going
to get a few mates round.
Or is it? Has it
Alan,
got,
come round.
has
Come
it got-
round, Alan. We'll do
that would be
100
good.
metres.
6 lanes. He could have Jim in one lane, Alan.
Yeah.
Get them
I'll
announced.
tell you what.
Penny on the PA.
We should do a TalkSPORT 100 metres live from Rod Stewart's house.
Yeah,
There's a radio idea, if ever I've heard
that
one.
would be good, wouldn't it?
Alan v Ali, all the footballers, all the ex-footballers.
Yeah, you think?
Bad
With,
joints.
and see if Rod can beat them
See if
over
Rod-
100
yeah.
metres.
But apparently his record at the moment is 17 seconds.
Right.
No, he's aiming for 17.
So does he have to pay a starter? Wouldn't that be a great job? To go round there with your blanks and your hat on, all the starters have the hats and the blazer. Just stand at Rod's house and say, "Oh, hello, Dave. Oh, hello, Rod. How are you? Marks." Off they go. That would be fantastic. If he does a full start, does he have to go in? Can't he not do any more?
Penny comes out with a red card.
That's it.
It's a false start in the marathon at the World
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah, that takes some
Did you
doing.
see that?
Takes some doing.
Crazy.
But, I mean, anyway.
It's quite a strange flex, isn't it? I can do 100 metres whenever I want.
Yeah, just
Got
to be
it in
able
my
to
back garden. I
go
can
out there.
pop out.
So Penny says, should we go Lidl? No, I don't know if he's going to have some lunch. No, I might go and do an hour in the 100 metres. Just goes out there and just does repeated 100
Start
metres.
practice.
Yeah, just in the blocks.
Yeah, so he's got that. And Duplantis, the pole vault champion, world champion who beat the world record yesterday, he had a pole vault, whatever you call it. What do you call it? What do you call it? Pole vault, pole and
pit.
I
don't know. I mean, he would have had the mat and
something
everything.
to fall on and all that. He had that in his back garden from the age of 3.
Wow, taking it. See, that's
I don't know
why
if it
it's
was
so
full
good.
size from the age of 3. I
Yeah.
can't imagine it.
That seems unlikely.
But yeah.
But
So,
what did you install in your garden?
Yes.
Now, in the heartland, I think it's going to be predominantly pubs.
oh yeah.
But there may be some away from that. I mean, probably a shrine to your football team. You can even send us pictures if you want to. But if there's anything weird and wonderful you installed in your garden, often people put putting greens in, don't they? That's quite a common one. Bit of astro.
I bet as a 10-year-old, I built a goal in my back garden out of just bits of
You
wood.
built it. You built a
it
goal.
myself. Didn't buy one. Built one. For the back garden.
I mean, it's 3 bits of wood now together, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what it was, Paul.
Yeah.
And then and I put some old garden net, like strawberry netting,
Right.
on as the net.
Lonely child, were you, Charlie?
It was. And then I got my sister, who's 4 years younger than me, to go in goal.
And they just hammer the ball.
Hammer the ball, and it hit the goal. Of course, the goal collapsed on top of her. That was the end of the goal, Paul.
That was it, really?
That was the end of the goal.
So, not a particularly well-made goal.
Not very well. I was 10, Paul.
So what did you install in
hammer
your
and
garden
nails.
and how long did it last? Maybe that's the way to go with it. Talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. That's TSH-A-N-D-J.
Chris says, please include the moose in the TalkSport 100 metres.
That would be good, yeah. He's got to do it in his flip-flops. The moose cannot walk in flip-flops, as we discovered when we were in Brazil. Never has a man's feet not been designed to flip or indeed flop. I can't walk any faster. We're going to miss Spain training, Moose. I can't walk. We're trying to walk from the Maracanã station to... We've got 10 minutes to watch Spain train, Moose. I can't go any faster. We want it to throttle him by the end of it. Anyway, I've been triggered by you
Especially
saying
while he's eating a tuna pancake.
yeah,
It's a
exactly.
nightmare.
Talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. What did you install in your garden? How long did it last? And if it was a bit quirky,
Instead
that
of
even better.
some pictures, yeah.
Back page of the Sun today, little story. Manchester City are prepared to battle Liverpool for Mark Gay. And I thought, when is it okay to care about transfers again?
Yeah.
Because I'm well off of that day at the moment. I couldn't
now.
care less about transfers. Could you?
Couldn't care less.
Because
we're in now. We're into it.
it's done.
With the
As soon as that
international
window
breaks over,
slammed,
it's
it was dead to me until...
gone. Premier League was back.
When can we start caring about transfers? I'd say that week when just as you go off for Christmas, just
Paul,
before it opens again in January.
As it's our job.
End of December.
It's like, oh, right, well, you know.
Well, you can't talk about them, can you? You can't say, my sources, your sources, they could be 6 months out of date, your sources. I mean, do what Fabrizio Romano does. Crookie's got other things to do. He's going to join us later. He doesn't just do transfers. He's our chief. But if you just do transfers, Fabrizio at the moment, just after the window closed, he was taken down the shed in the garden by Mrs. Romano.
That's nice.
And there was a shoebox full of straw.
Oh, that's
and they put him in that. And he comes out.
Nice. When they leave
December, they wake him up. They don't wake him up. He wakes up naturally. It's one of the wonders of nature.
Leave a bit of cat food out for him,
yeah,
like that.
Well, you haven't heard from Ben Jacobs recently.
Oh, that's true.
He's in a little box in the garden, and we'll wake him up just before the 1st of January. So when is it okay? Tell us, when is it okay to start caring about transfers again? Because at the moment, couldn't care less. Other thing to get you going on, you probably would have seen this story. You've got to love the chutzpah. The barman who's working at Manchester City behind one of the bars at the Etihad,
lovely,
wearing his Manchester United away
lovely bit
shirt.
of S-housery, wasn't it? It was good on him, I say.
I mean, they complained. Some of the City fans complained, and then he was taken off the job. I don't know if he was sacked or they put him, backstage, but he wasn't allowed to be front of house with his Man United shirt on.
Did they not check what he was wearing before he went out front?
I think he had a zipped up top, and as the day went on, he thought, I'm going to S-house. Down came the top, and there was the old United badge. Felt a bit tight. I mean, you could have had a bit of fun with him, couldn't you?
He did get hammered, though, Paul. So.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he would have done as soon as the first couple of goals gone, he would have done it up.
Not good.
But sometimes, I remember my youngest lad, when he was about 5, we had a spare ticket, and maybe a bit older than that, 7 or 8. But one of his friends said, oh, we got a spare, does he want to come? Can my friend go? Yeah, of course he can come. But his dad wasn't a big football fan, really, and he turned up with his Arsenal shirt on. I said, you can't wear that.
No, you can't do it.
Go and get one of Matt's Tottenham shirts.
Think about it.
Yeah. And I said to his dad, he can't wear that. And he went, oh, okay. I said, we got him in one of my lad's Tottenham shirts. But now and again, you do like to wear...
Yeah,
just maybe
just annoy people.
I went as a neutral to watch, say it's, you're an Everton fan, you went and watched Liverpool, sort of Chelsea or whatever, and you thought, no, I'm going to have my Everton badge, I'm going to have my shirt, I'll keep it done up, I'm going to definitely have a little bit of blue in there.
Although there's a lower league...
You like a little bit of blue, don't you, Charlie?
A bit of blue. You know there's a lower league version of that, Paul, which is a bit annoying.
What is that?
I've told you about before. It's when you're in the lower leagues or in the non-leagues, and Premier League fans... sort of deign to come visit your
just a nice day
ground,
out, nice.
And they turn up in their Premier. Well, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
He's not bad. That number 4.
I might tell Arna about him, like you know him, mate. Probably only been to the ground once.
Turn up in their Premier League. Do you like a bit of blue, Paul? I won't read it out, but I'll praise it, and I reckon you'll be able to work it.
Okay,
out. It's from Warren in Bolton. He says, I know you won't be able to read this out.
Yeah,
he's gone route 1.
Yeah,
it's about Rod Stewart.
Yeah,
and his age, and what the starter may fire from his gun.
Oh, okay.
And what Rod might fire as well at the same time. So I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
There we are. Right. You can put the bits... It's a bit of an IKEA of a joke.
I think it is.
You can put the bits together yourself.
We kick off this afternoon chatting to David O'Leary. We're going to talk Arsenal. We're going to talk Villa. Of course, we bring you Athletic Bilbao versus Arsenal tonight in the Champions League. And indeed, Villa over on talkSPORT too. At Brentford, looking for goals. So David joins us to kick us off. H&B versus Chat GPT. He's been working in the world of sport this week, doing a very great job with our golfers. And lots to come later on. Larry and George Lamb will be joining us. I don't know who Harry Lamb is. Will be joining us.
It's the other one.
The
one they don't talk about.
The third wheel. We'll talk a bit of Spurs in Europe tonight and all manner of other stuff. But to get in touch, talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. We're here with Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station.
Arsenal fans, those dreams of a maiden Champions League triumph go on again.
What is still on us to reach that and unlock that door to get to a final and then actually win it.
Is this Arsenal's time? Could it be this season? Here's Eze inside the penalty area. Gyökeres!
I think it's more than just a striker. Strength and depth is the key.
Do you believe Arteta has created structures there that make them one of the best teams without the ball?
And he set up Williams, who scores!
To have both Williams brothers involved would be fantastic.
Stunning goal! Hauragifa! 25 yards out!
Become a really, really good side under Ernesto Valverde. They've been ready for the Champions League for a while.
Some tough away games, but generally I don't think that's too bad for Arsenal at all.
Yes, they kick off tonight. Arsenal against Athletic Bilbao. Joining us now to chat about that and more is Arsenal legend David O'Leary. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon. Hope you're all well.
Yeah, we're good, thank you. It was interesting. The strength in depth does feel. I think Danny Murphy was saying that is so key, isn't it? I mean, we're seeing that tonight because they're going to Bilbao with injuries.
I just heard a brief thing there when you came to me from Danny, and I think Danny's point was excellent. I think there's been 260 million spent in the summer, but in general it's been well spent, and the squad now, the depth is fantastic. And like you say, you look at some of the injuries of the important players that are out, but you can see what team they can put out. Plus, when you know you have a top squad is when you look at your bench and how strong it is, and that's what Arsenal have these days now.
I was really impressed with Mosquera the other day. And
good player, yeah.
What did you think as a centre-half? What do you make of him, Dave?
I seen him briefly a few times in Spain, and he catches your eye. And I think the way he's come on, I've seen him come on his debut at Anfield, and I thought it'd be interesting to see how he handles this. He doesn't come any bigger than Anfield, and you know, he was calm, he was cool, and for the price they've paid, he could be one of the signings of the season without a doubt. I think we had a great deal of information because of the new director of football that's come into Arsenal. It'd been well aware of him in Spain, and you know, full credit to him for bringing him in.
Yeah, I thought Madueke was fantastic on Saturday, and you know, losing Saka to injury gives someone like him a platform and an opportunity, doesn't it? And him with a slightly old school centre forward of Gyökeres.
No disrespect to Madueke, but the lad he was playing against, I was thinking to myself, Arsenal keep giving the ball to him, because it was a left centre back playing, playing left full back, getting exposed, and as I say, Madueke had a field day with him and that way. So he's looked exciting. And again, it shows you the depth in squad that you lose a player, one of the best players in Saka, and really he hasn't been missed yet because of Madueke's form.
Yeah, what have you made of Gyökeres so far? I mean, he took his chance well the other day.
Do you know, and I seen Gyökeres a couple of years ago. A good friend of mine, Steve Gibson, invited me to when we were playing Middlesbrough, playing Coventry in the two-legged semi-finals in the championship to come up, and that's when I seen him in the flesh, and he was a lad. He caught my eye. I come away driving home that night. I thought to myself, well, it mustn't be me. Nobody in England's picked him up, and he's gone to Porto. He's gone to Sporting Lisbon. Scored a lot of goals in an okay league. Price-wise, I didn't think the form and what he scored, I didn't think that from 20 odd million at Coventry to what Arsenal have had to pay, but that's what they've had to pay. It was important they got a centre forward in, and I think he'll be judged on over the season. If he gets 20 goals plus, he'll be a successful signing. But it's a lot better than what Arsenal have had, because they've been playing with improvised number nines without having a proper number nine.
Yeah, I think the juggle for Arteta this season is going to be really interesting. Obviously, they've come so close to the league in the last few years, and they've never won the Champions League. So I don't know if they can go on both fronts. It's going to be interesting.
Look, the squad is being built for that. The expectation is, they're the two big prizes, because that's the squad you have available to win those two. And that's what the squad is being compelled to do. They weren't far away, ran into PSG last season, getting to the semi-final. Great win away at Real Madrid. So the squad is nearly there. And with added input of this season, you've got to be thinking to yourself, you've got to be one of the favourites for this competition. Plus, what I've seen so far, I think it's Arsenal, Liverpool. They've got the two best squads, and Arsenal got to come close and got to be very, very close at the very end of the day of winning that.
It's very, very early days, and I've got Isak to come in. But what have you made of Liverpool so far? As you say, I think you're right. They are probably the main threat to Arsenal.
You know what? I think watching Newcastle last season, Arsenal ran against them in the Carabao Cup and in the league, and I think with Gabriel and Saliba, probably the best two centre-backs pairing in the cup. And Isak was the one in all the games that I've never seen them rattle so much. And I think to myself, yeah, you're the best centre forward around at the moment. So they've gone and bought that. The thing that worries me more than anything else is I think they kind of admitted that in Gowie that missed out at the end. That's telling me that they need somebody else there for the squad. And I don't know whether they played it too cool. I think the people who run Liverpool are fantastic, Richard Hughes, whether they played it too cool with that. But I think they're vulnerable, Liverpool, if they were to lose Van Dijk or Konate there. And that's, by not getting him in, that could be a blow to them. That could cost them at the end of the day in that way. But I think it's, for me, what I've seen, again, just repeat myself, I think it's an Arsenal, Liverpool. They've got the two best squads. And once they get Isak up to speed, as you've asked, I think he's a goal scorer and he can only be a great asset to them.
One of your old clubs as well. You manage Villa. They're in action this evening, and
need a goal.
Yeah, they just from somewhere. It's. I mean, they've got to go to Brentford, so it won't be easy. But what have you made of it, David? It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. Can't believe it. You know, I think with the players they have, that you say after this you haven't scored a goal. Very, very strange and very strange indeed. And as I say, that's a really great club, great supporters, and great expectations with a top-class manager there. And they just haven't performed, come out of the traps this season at all.
Have you had that? I mean, when you've managed the team or even playing in the team, has it been when you're having this extended period where the goals aren't going in, it must play on your mind?
Without a doubt, and it plays on your mind that you can't afford to concede either. It plays on defenders' minds and defensively thinking, if we're not scoring goals, we've got to make sure we're not conceding any. And that comes into play as well.
Yeah. You've got the right goalkeeper for that, haven't they? You've got a really good goalkeeper.
Well, yeah, as I say, from what I can gather over the weekend, he was superb. I think he needed to do that to maybe show the fans and everybody else he was totally committed when we all thought that he was, leaving the club in some way. And he needed that performance, I think, to bring everybody back inside and show that I'm fully committed here for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Well, look, enjoy the games tonight. David, good to talk to you as always. Thanks very much.
It's a pleasure. Have a good afternoon there. Take care.
Take care. David O'Leary there, former Arsenal skipper. And we bring you Athletic Bilbao versus Arsenal. It's the early kickoff. That's over on talkSPORT 2. Joe Shannon and Perry Groves are your commentary team. 5:45 for that one. Around the grounds with Adrian Durham from 7. He's got Troy Deeney and Scott Minto, Mickey Gray and others. All the goals they go in the Champions League and the Carabao Cup and Carabao Cup action over on talkSPORT 2. Brentford versus Villa from 8:00.
They need one to go off the proverbial backside, don't they? And then they'll score, and then they'll score loads. Got a good manager. They've got a good forward line. Aston Villa, I'm not worried about them.
Andy and I, it's pretty unscientific, but worked out that he's using less product in his hair. Is Unai Emery.
Is he?
And it's coincided with a gold drought.
So he's got a slightly sort of fluffier...
Yeah. He has we notice when he does his Friday afternoon press conferences, their hair's quite fluffy because he's had a shower after training
and he's not put
a lot of product.
Interesting point.
We know normally he's got the,
This is the sort of junk that I believe in.
Yeah.
And now you're saying it when I'm not even here.
Well, Andy Goldstein has just got into the hair product.
He has.
So I would
send him some.
Sends him a little pot.
Good idea.
Of his magic gel. And that might make all the difference.
Andy Goldstein's magic gel.
Yeah,
don't like the sound of it, Paul.
It's a podcast nobody wants to hear. Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Joey Page going to join us for a chat later on. He's comedian, Tottenham fan. Spurs also in action. Say Troy Deeney will be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tonight, keeping you updated on that one. Of course, to all tonight's football, who's going to get has anyone seen treatment?
Oh, yes, of course.
From Jason Cundy tonight, we'll find out at 10 in the spot. I'll be listening to the Sports Bar if Tottenham win. Sadly, boys, I will not if we lose. But anyway, that's...
We'll win tonight. We'll win tonight.
Coming up later on, we'll look at that game in a bit more detail later on in the show.
The Champions League is back on talkSPORT today. Ahead of his first game in the competition, Thomas Frank says he'll give himself 2 minutes to enjoy the anthem.
Of course, you'll remember the 99 Man United triple, crazy win against Bayern, the Liverpool Milan 3-3. So there's so many Champions League memories, so many big games.
Spurs host Villarreal tonight. Meanwhile, Christian Romero admits he's wrong to criticise Tottenham's ambitions last season. He just wanted them to act like a big club. Now, Captain Romero says he's happy in North London. Meanwhile, it's still unclear whether Bukayo Saka can play again after his hamstring problem. Arsenal's injury crisis continues. Odegaard's now unavailable this evening, while Havertz, White, Jesus and Saka were already out. But with 2 goals at the weekend, new signing Martin Zubimendi is growing into his role. Here's David Raya.
He knows how to play for the team. He doesn't play for himself, and his positioning defensively and attacking is incredible, so it's a pleasure to have him.
Elsewhere, the British Grand Prix will stage a sprint race next year. Silverstone held F1's first ever sprint race in 2021, but it hasn't been on the schedule since. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will not play in next week's British Open due to medical reasons. The opening rounds start on Monday. There's more at talksport.com.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Well, later on today, the Public Authority Accountability Bill, better known as the Hillsborough Law, will be introduced to Parliament, one of the first stages for it to be enshrined in law. Yeah. Long overdue. The Hillsborough families were down in London having breakfast with the Prime Minister today at Downing Street. And joining us now to chat about it and give us his thoughts on the bill is somebody who was at Hillsborough that day, Liverpool fan, journalist and author, Tony Evans. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hiya, Paul. Hiya, Charlie. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the bill is there to bring accountability to unfair fights, I think, to make people personally culpable. And there's some complications, I think, around that as the bill goes through Parliament and beyond. And also to make it a fair fight, which, of course, it wasn't, not just for the Hillsborough families, but for the post office workers and others, where, a governing body or whatever, a government body can get lawyered up and it just isn't a fair fight. And there'll be funds available for people to have an opportunity to get to the truth much sooner and it not be sort of clouded in mystery and lost in the courts. I mean, how are you feeling about it overall? I mean, after all these years, Tony, you'd have every right to be cynical, but how do you feel about it?
Yeah, still a bit cynical. I mean, we've been here before with the moments of victory, the Hillsborough Independent Panel in 2012, the inquests in 2016, and it all petered out. I think the point you made there, Paul, is really important. It's not just about Hillsborough, and it's not at all about football. What about is accountability? I mean, it'll have a massive impact on Grenfell, the Grenfell families, the tainted blood scandal, where people are still dying because they were given infected blood by the National Health Service and it was covered up. The veterans of the nuclear tests, which, and their families. So it's a massive thing. And what it does will introduce a duty of candour where people in public service can't lie. Well, they can lie, but it'll be a criminal offence from now on. Because one of the most amazing things about Hillsborough was that two senior South Yorkshire policemen, retired, and a solicitor for the force admitted that they doctored the statements of junior officers before the original inquests in 1990, and yet they were able to walk free, and it wasn't a criminal act because there was no law to cover that. So that window is shut. It's not really about Hillsborough and the Hillsborough families. It's about going forward, so no one else has to experience this, no matter what background they come from.
Yeah, you say previous drafts have been watered down in many ways because they lacked key provision. And so is this just more kicking the can down the road today, or do you think we're getting close to an end?
Well, we need to get close to an end, Shirley. What happened in March was that one of the senior solicitors the senior barristers for the Hillsborough families was allowed to see a draft of the law, and it was so watered down he couldn't believe it. He was in a fury. Starmer was sent into a panic because he promised to introduce this law to the Commons before the anniversary on the 15th of April, which obviously he didn't. They've gone away, they've rewritten it, and they had a meeting with the families yesterday with David Lammy there, the Deputy Prime Minister, and I think most people are pretty satisfied with what they've seen on offer. They've given this duty of candour some teeth, and that's really important. And the civil service were massively against the potential expenditure from the equality of arms, sort of making sure that any people on the wrong end of a public authority's behaviour have adequate representation in court. So they were against that in case it costs too much money. But they've reinstated those things, and although we're clearly it's premature to express victory at the moment, if there could ever be a victory, I think people are more optimistic. And David Lammy was in tears when he said he is determined to protect this bill as it makes its way through the Commons and the Lords.
You just don't. I mean, the whole point of this is to simplify a process. You just hope it doesn't get bogged down in law, because obviously it's an awful lot of money for lawyers when things get bogged down in law. You just hope that there is a swift resolution, or as swift as you can get for something that's probably as complex as this.
Yeah, and there will be vested interests who are determined to scupper it. Obviously, the police don't want to know about it because they don't want it to be scrutinised. But it goes wider than that. The National Health Service, has been some terrible scandals there. And, of course, like I say, the civil service are not keen on the potential for spending money from the public exchequer. But there seems to be a will there. And at the moment as well, Keir Starmer needs all the friends he can get. His government's mired in scandal and, sort of massive disappointment after just over a year. And he's got to go to Liverpool in a couple of weeks for the Labour Party conference, where he was likely to have a very rough reception, but this might ease things at least a bit.
Yeah, and you do sense that this is a lot further down the road, and I'd say we saw footage of some of the Hillsborough families today chatting after they'd spoken to the Prime Minister, and they seemed certainly that, I mean, they'd have every right to be cynical and be worried about this all these years on after everything they've gone through, but they seemed to feel that this was an important day and a real turning point.
Well, yeah, it seems that way. But as I say, we've been here before, and some of the families have accepted honours from previous governments because they thought the wave was sort of in their favour, in the resolution, favour of the resolution, and it never happened. So yeah, it's right to be cynical. And against the background, the independent police, the IPOC, earlier this year produced the 13-year report. It took 13 years, and of the complaints against the South Yorkshire Police from 1989, more than 300 of them would have been upheld. A couple of them were pretty damning to senior policemen. One in particular, Chief Constable of South Yorkshire, would have faced 3 grievous misconduct charges and 6 misconducts. And basically, they admitted there was a conspiracy, and it makes grim reading. And you know what? We should be able to trust our police. We should be able to trust our public authorities. And this is what this bill will do if it passes in its current form.
Tony, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony.
We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Always a pleasure.
Tony Evans there on the Hillsborough Law, which goes to the Commons later on this afternoon. We're going to be chatting to Lars Sivertson a little bit later on. It's year 2 of the reformed Champions League format.
Yeah.
And we'll see what Lars makes of it. So I'm off to a game tonight.
I mean, the format worked, didn't it, Paul, last year? But it did. In the initial rounds, we were discussing that it lacks jeopardy in the initial rounds.
There is a bit of a question at the moment. We saw with PSG and the start they made, yet they were still able to go on and win it.
But some teams made a really good start.
You've got enough time to catch up if you make a bad start.
But you can qualify sort of early-ish as well. And
yeah,
I don't know. There's
that might allow you to
two ways
changes.
to think of it, aren't there?
That's true. But anyway, we'll have a chat with Lars because there's some big games tonight. I think Jude Bellingham's back in the frame for Real Madrid. And Adrien Goldberg, author and West Brom fan, is going to be popping in to chat about his new book, Where's the Money Gone? That's all coming up between now and 4. We're here with Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station. It's the 400-metre semi-finals, 400-metre hurdles.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you're not a runner, it's like me and you doing it? How many hurdles would we take out?
I was watching the athletics yesterday thinking, this is like someone's gone to their brother. Right, I bet I can beat you over 100 metres.
Yeah.
Right, I bet I can beat you over 200 metres. Right, I bet I can beat you over 400 metres with hurdles. And it's eventually got to the steeplechase.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna have a jump in it, and there's going to be water.
Double or quit. Yeah, cool. Wow, it's an event and a half. Anyway, the countdown is on for your chance to win £25,000 and tickets to see Oasis at Wembley on Saturday the 27th of September 2025. This Friday, we're calling 2 lucky listeners on air who'll go head-to-head for the cash. Both will get the tickets, but only one will walk away with 25 grand. Listen up, here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word Oasis to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission. Or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 19th of September at 9 a.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
It is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Larry and George Lamb joining us for a bit of a chat later on. I'm sure the names Gavin and Stacey are bound to come up at some point amongst our chat about dishwashers.
Oh, good.
And Dundee United. And Adrien Goldberg, author and Baggies fan, popping in a little bit later on.
You've been asking what people have got in their back gardens, Paul.
Yeah. Because Rod Stewart's got a 100-metre track that he trains on.
Oh, he has indeed. He's got this is Steph.
Yeah.
In Langley. What's it now? Oh, no, there it is. My husband and I were once shown around a house where the whole back garden had been turned into a model of the Grand Canyon. How would you do that?
Scale model, I guess.
How would you do it, though? Would you just dig a hole in your garden?
I suppose you must
you have to build it high and you walk up. Steph, we need more information.
Yeah, can we have got pictures of
the
it?
estate agent's blurb.
It must be quite tough to shift, wasn't it? I mean, the estate agents walking around saying, yeah, downstairs loo, nice ensuite.
Yeah.
We're right, gardens, mainly Grand Canyon, but I'll show you that later. Yeah. Sorry, what did you say? Yeah, it's a model of the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
And a tiny little Evil Knievel trying to jump it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. Thank you for that. What did you put in your garden? We'd love to know. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. But now it's time for H&B versus Chat GPT.
H&B versus Chat GPT.
Yes, Chat GPT knows everything.
It does.
And if it doesn't know everything, it learns everything really quickly.
Really, really does.
And so what chance has anybody got predicting football scores against Chat GPT? We decided to put that to the test some time ago. And we look at 3 big games this week, all in the Champions League, all live on talkSPORT. And we try and predict against Chat GPT.
Exactly. We go on your over 30 years worth of journalistic experience, Paul. I go on vibes. Chat goes on the whole of knowledge of all time.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we've got him involved. In case you're wondering, and you haven't heard this before, the delivery system for it is budget. We don't have really the money to pay Chat GPT for the sort of voice you often hear.
Proper voice.
So we've got... It's a bit shonky, but
it's got its own charm.
Yeah, he has got his own. They've got their own personality.
Their own charm.
Yeah. And funny enough, we were talking to Rupert Bell yesterday.
Oh yeah.
All of the European golfers have been given VR headsets.
Yeah.
To get themselves ready for Bethpage Black, to get ready for the Ryder Cup.
Oh yeah.
And we understand.
And it's all just sort of shouting at them, isn't it?
Abuse. They're going to get a lot of abuse. So they thought these headsets might help. So that's why I think the Chat has been working with them. Let's find out, Chat. Good afternoon.
Hello, Chat.
I have been working with Team Europe ahead of the Ryder Cup shouting abuse at them.
Shouting abuse at them. Have you got some examples of the sort of stuff you might have said?
Get your hair cut, Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood? Well, he did make a lot of money the other week. That would have been
$9 million.
That would have been a great headline. You
should be down on the 14th floor, Paul.
Anything else you've been saying?
Rory, you are a choker.
Rory's a choker.
He's won everything.
Yeah.
Won everything the game's got to.
Well, look, it's a valuable service that you're offering, insulting the Ryder Cup golfers. Are you a golf fan?
Would you like to hear a golf joke?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to hear a golf
joke. Yeah, we'd like to hear a golf joke. Go on, then.
Why do golfers carry around 2 pairs of trousers.
Oh, yeah, it's in case they get a hole in one.
They get a hole in one. Ha 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 ha.
He crashed his gang.
I know everyone knows that.
Bit much, isn't it?
I am here all week and available for golf dinners.
Oh, golf dinners.
Quite
Yeah,
slow.
yeah. That's it.
Quite a slow talker, aren't you?
Yeah, okay. So
I love the Beavers.
we know you love the Beavers. You've told us that before. So 4. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. 4. Yeah. I didn't know you did the golf club dinners.
Stand up of you.
Yeah.
I have got a good blue act, lad.
Good blue act.
2 nuns in the bath.
Yeah, we'll leave that.
We'll leave 2 nuns in the bath.
Thank you very much.
Paul is a spoil sport.
Well, we don't want to be taken off air, do we? For goodness' sake. Yeah, that's it.
Who have Torquay got in the next round of the FA Cup?
Oh, that's a bit salty, isn't it? You lost to.
Got beaten by Tottenham.
Not Tottenham. You've played Tottenham, and now you're playing Tottenham.
We lost. Is who we are, mate.
It's who we are, mate. Yeah, it's who we are, mate. Yeah. Lost to Tottenham Saturday 2-0. Yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Yes, it is a shame, Paul. You'd think we'd have a squad that could beat anyone in the division.
Anything else?
Where is the soul?
No, I told you you're not doing that one. You're not doing that one.
That's the nun joke, Paul.
Yeah, leave it. I know we know that, Charlie.
Oh, okay.
Some things are best left unsaid. So let's get underway then. Athletic Bilbao versus Arsenal this evening. Charlie Baker.
Yeah, I'm in the lead at the moment.
You are in the lead. Yeah,
I've got 10 points.
Yeah.
Got 4 points last week, so I'm in 10 points. You pull your second on.
We're beating Chat GPT at predicting scores.
And Chat is last, bottom of the league at the moment. Chat, bad news for you.
Tremendous.
Athletic Bilbao v Arsenal. I think Arsenal will want to get off to a good start in the Champions League and build on the weekends. I don't know how Athletic Bilbao are getting on, but my vibe, Paul, says 2-1 Arsenal. Yeah,
I was quite tempted on 2-1. There are Williams down, aren't they, Athletic Bilbao, but they are at home. We saw them against United. I think I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. I think they look good defensively the other day. I fancy them to keep a clean sheet. I'll go 2-0 to the Goons. What say you, Chat GPT?
Arsenal have come into the match in good shape. Bilbao have been solid too. I predict Arsenal win by 2-1.
Oh, 2 ways agreeing with you, Charlie.
Tom's asked you, Chat, if Tom's been in touch, what does Chat love more, the Beavers or a hole in one?
I love the Beavers.
Oh, yeah, it's always nice to answer the listeners' questions.
It is who we are made.
That's very true.
The Beavers, yeah.
It would be great if Ange just said it one day like that. It is who we are made. Okay, that's live on talkSPORT tonight, 5:45 kickoff. talkSPORT 2, actually. That one, isn't it? I think.
Okay, Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Live on talkSPORT tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that is 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
It's an interesting game, I think.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool have not been good. I know they keep winning. They've not been good. I wonder if Atletico Madrid...
Well, they've not been... Yeah.
They've not been beaten, but they've not been good, Paul.
No,
I wonder if Atletico Madrid will be the people to get on top of them. 2-2.
Oh, you think the draw?
The draw.
Okay. We're going to see Isaac, aren't we? He said that 45 minutes.
League, right, okay.
I think I can see him scoring. I'm going to go Liverpool nick it 2-1.
2-1.
Chat, what do you say?
Liverpool's home record in Europe is solid. Atletico are known for their defensive resilience.
Oh, yeah.
Liverpool will win by 1-0.
1-0.
They've had a lot of
tight game.
I'm guessing a late goal. This is real Chat GPT predictions, though. They say that the voice might be a bit shonky, but this is what Chat GPTs will think will happen in this game.
Yeah.
So that's live tomorrow, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Newcastle United versus Barcelona. Charlie,
this is tough, isn't it? Newcastle v Barcelona. I mean, my vibe says that Newcastle aren't going to get anything out of this game, but you never know. Could be huge, couldn't it? At St James Park, they'll be bang up for it. I think it's going to be 2-0 to Barcelona.
2-0 Barcelona. I see Newcastle scoring, but I don't see them winning. So I'm going to go 2-1 Barca. Okay. They're all quite tight, these games. Chat, what say you?
Barcelona are looking very strong attacking-wise, and Newcastle have been quite inconsistent so far this season. I predict 2-0 win for Barcelona.
That's what I said, isn't it? Yeah.
He's agreeing with you.
Barcelona.
Barcelona. That's Charles. What is he?
That's what Rashford's on, isn't it? A Barcelona?
I think he is. He can't finish him off. So there we are, chat. Thank you very much. Good to talk
Thanks,
to you.
chat. Anything to add?
Torquay in the mud.
So that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, cheers.
That's kind, isn't it?
It is. So there we are. That was H&B versus Chat GPT for another week. Alex Crook's going to pop in. The stats around, mate. Honestly, if you believe the stats, they're top of the league. Stats are amazing.
I mean, no good.
What are the stats telling us?
That's why Benfica are after him.
Things heading
read
right.
the stats, not been at the games.
Somebody wants to be the president of Benfica and wants Ruben Amorim to come home because he played for him all those years ago. So we'll have a chat with our own Alex Crook, who's fresh from recording our Manchester United YouTube show. That's coming up very shortly. We're going to have a chat with Cameron Humphreys a little bit later on of Ipswich. He's been getting game time at Portman Road after a good loan. Not all loans are good for young players, but he certainly had a good one last year. He'll tell us more about that later on in the show. But first, Ben Fletcher has the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon. Chelsea have added deadline day signing Facundo Buonanotte to their Champions League squad for tomorrow's curtain raiser away at Bayern Munich. The Argentine replaces injured Dario Asugo, who's undergone thigh surgery. You can hear live commentary on that over on talkSPORT 2. Later this afternoon, that's where you'll hear Arsenal's trip to the northern coast of Spain. What lessons has Mikel Arteta learned from last season?
That we are good enough, that we can compete against any opposition on the day. And on top of that, that two things have to go your way. You need to have a full squad available when it comes to the most critical moments in the season. And then as well, when the ball has to go in the right moment or with the right decision, it has to be as well because the margins are so small.
Bilbao Arsenal is live on talkSPORT 2 from 5 this afternoon. Next is Crystal Palace's European dream turning into a nightmare. First they're kicked out the Europa League, now the fans are in the dark over tickets for their first game in the Conference League.
We want to know, A, what the allocation is and how they are going to start selling the tickets.
That's Peter Saysall, chair of Crystal Palace Independent Supporters Association. Palace are due to play Dynamo Kyiv in Poland 2 weeks on Thursday, and we're told strict laws in Poland mean fans' names and passport numbers must be on each ticket.
I think that is causing a little bit of concern to the club as to how they are going to do this.
We've approached Palace for comment. Aberdeen's director of football, Stephen Gunn, will step down next month after 25 years at Tannadice. Former Don David Lorry stepping into the role on an interim basis. There's plenty more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Robert Redford has died at the age of 89, and MPs are discussing the hiring and sacking of Lord Mandelson as British ambassador to the US. There's more from Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With a huge range of premium brands available, we've got what you need to drive away happy every time. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Generally dry and sunny, warm in places, scattered showers in the north and the west.
This is diabolical from Man United.
The fact morale at Old Trafford amongst the staff has never been so low.
If we didn't score that last gasp penalty against Burnley, which is our only win this season in all competitions, and if we lose to Chelsea at the weekend, which I expect us to do so, we will be in the relegation zone.
I think he's trapped in that Sporting Lisbon success. This is how I'm going to implement this here.
I don't see the system as you guys see the system, so I will try to do my job.
I don't understand what you're watching at times from a mighty club like Manchester United. It's shocking.
He's the worst start in the league since 1992-93 season. He hasn't won 2 games in a row yet.
To some extent, the manager has to take a huge amount of responsibility for sitting in a place where you've made things worse.
Sometimes we are a little bit naive in the approach that we have, but I saw some games that sometimes we can run faster, but they try.
Factually, the worst manager that Manchester United have had.
Amorim sticking to his style at all costs has made United even worse.
But Old Trafford is fast becoming the theatre of broken dreams.
Well, the data suggests that they're going to win the title this year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, the numbers generally are good. We saw yesterday, despite sitting 14th, said the Times, in the Premier League, United have registered the most touches in the opposition's penalty area, the most expected goals, the most shots this season, and recorded the best shots, different shots taken minus shots faced.
Okay.
So get the open top bus ready. So that's the stats. But I mean, we read overnight. I mean, Paul Scholes and Wayne Rooney and others lining up to say they don't quite know what's going on.
No.
Alex Crook is fresh from Inside Devils, the podcast that we bring you and YouTube show that we bring you here on talkSPORT around Manchester United. I bet it was a bundle of laughs today, wasn't it?
Right laugh.
Well, it's one of those shows where we actually didn't need a script because it was basically just a sort of 45-minute therapy session. And I've got to say, it did get a bit feisty because there was a split down there as to what happens next at Manchester United. Flex, who was the host, I think he's adamant now that Ruben Amorim has served his time, has to go. Ryan Scott Douglas, Manchester United fan, big stat man actually, so maybe this is what he's basing his opinion on. He is very much the belief that he needs more time. I'm probably somewhere in between, and I pushed Ruben Amorim quite hard after the game at the Etihad on Sunday on his system, on the fact that clearly it's not bringing the best out of Bruno Fernandes. but he's not for turning. He insists the system is not the problem, that it will come good, and maybe those stats back him up. 31 games he's had in the Premier League, 8 wins in the Premier League, not won back-to-back games, as that caller we heard in the package suggested. And at the moment, it's relegation form. They're 1 point above the relegation zone. They've got Chelsea at home on Saturday, which looks a very difficult game to make a case for United winning. Then they go to Brentford, who've caught me by surprise. I think they look a much better team than I expected with all the upheaval they've had this summer. And then Sunderland at home. And I think it's difficult to make a case for United beating Sunderland at the moment. Well organised, well coached. Two things that Manchester United don't appear to be. And I don't think we're too far away now from the players losing belief in the manager. There's been some suggestions out on the back pages in 1 or 2 papers today, and I think you can see by the body language, Bruno Fernandes not tracking his man for the first goal. I'm not sure they have faith in this system that results are going to turn.
Paul Scholes' main issue seemed to be with the midfield and them not having the legs in midfield and the quality elsewhere, and we saw what City did to sort of negate them the other day. You're right. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about sort of neutering Bruno as an attacking force by playing him more as an 8 than the 10, etc., etc. It's not just about the system. It's kind of where he's fitting the personnel around it.
Yeah, and the players that he's picking. I mean, I think the goalkeeping situation has been a debacle because I think we all know that Altay Bayindir isn't good enough to be a Manchester United or even a Premier League number one. I don't know why they decided to hang their hat on him at the start of the season. That obviously affected Andre Onana's confidence. You saw that in the game against Grimsby in the Cup when he chucked 2 in the back of his own net, and ultimately his United career ended there. I think Sonny Lamans probably should have gone straight into the team at the weekend. Patrick Dorgu is a player they've signed purely, it seems, because he fits this system that Emery wants to play. Well, he's not good enough. He got himself in some brilliant crossing positions, regularly hit the first man. That was when he wasn't finding himself in an offside position. And if you asked any United fan, and probably even Emery himself, at the end of last season, who have been the 2 best players for United, Bruno Fernandes and Amad Diallo would have been the answer. Well, both of those are being used wrongly. I mean, Amad looks totally lost to me. Is he a left wing back? Is he a right wing back? Is he a winger, which I think is where he really wants to play? Or is he a number 10? We've spoken about Bruno. So it's not just the system, it's the personnel changes as well. And I was speaking to a coach at another club yesterday, and he was saying, look at the stats, and I don't know if you got this statistic, but pretty much every game, he changes one of the centre-backs after 70 minutes. Now, if you're playing in a back 3, that's the one position you don't really need to tinker with because you're not using as much energy. So what is that substitution all about? And the Kobbie Mainoo...
Well, he's got to bring his striker on, Harry Maguire.
You joke, but I think Harry Maguire's coming on in games more because of what he can do in the opposition penalty area.
Because they're chasing
than
games.
what he can do in his own. And the Kobbie Mainoo situation is infuriating.
Yeah, sad.
Because you go back to the 2024 FA Cup final, he scores in that game, he runs the midfield against Manchester City, United defy the odds and they win the FA Cup, it keeps Erik ten Hag in a job. A few weeks later, he comes in and solves that number 6 issue that England had at the European Championships. He plays in the European Championship final. He's been criminally underused by Ruben Amorim, and I speak to people close to Kobbie Mainoo and they say to me, he doesn't fancy him. Kobbie believes the manager doesn't have any faith in his ability. And I think that's a real dereliction of duty, a player who's come through the academy. And I heard a caller on, I'm ranting here, but I heard a caller on Drive last night talking about the system. If Ryan Giggs was a Manchester United player now, he'd struggle to get in the team.
This is a good
because he doesn't fit the system.
He don't fancy Højlund, who scored at the weekend. I mean, he didn't have a great season last year. He doesn't fancy Garnacho, who played great, I thought, for Chelsea at the weekend. Doesn't fancy Rashford.
Apart from the last 30 seconds when he fell asleep.
But it's a slightly dangerous business when you talk about those players and you look at the DNA and the history of Manchester United. It's built on wide players. We're not really playing with wide players at the moment. It's built on players coming through the academy. That's what Manchester United fans want to see. And because the board have gone all in on this manager, and if they do have to fire him, I don't have a clue where they start from scratch. But they've allowed him to sell Garnacho, to loan out Rashford. Now, obviously, there's been an attitude issue with both those players, and it would be two-faced of me to say otherwise. But you're allowing him, with Kobbie Mainoo as well, to get rid of the young players that United fans want to see the team built around. If you then sack that manager and you've already offloaded all those young players, will they live to regret that?
There's this story there. There's a presidential race at Benfica, and one of the people in the running, because he played there when he was younger, he would love to take him back to the club. I think that's the ticket he's working. But there's no way Ruben Amorim walks. When do coaches ever walk? When they're going to get a massive payoff like that? So it's a decision Manchester United would have to make. But there would be an opportunity for him to walk into a plum job potentially. And I don't know, well, that would go down with the Sporting fans. So.
Well, no, absolutely, with the rivalry between those two. But I think also there was a suggestion from sources close to Benfica last night. Actually, Rui Costa, former Portuguese international, he is more likely to become the new president than the guy you're talking about. Yeah. So maybe even that won't be an escape route. But you're right, managers don't walk away from contracts. But speaking to players, they tell me that when your manager comes out, as he did after that Grimsby game, and basically said, well, maybe I'll have to walk away, maybe I can't solve this, that's not going to help the issues inside the dressing room either.
But when he got the job, he said he didn't want it yet. Well, now he didn't want half the players he had. And now he doesn't seem to want the job he's got. When has he ever wanted this job?
There's a lot of evidence, I think, at the moment to suggest this is a manager who has found himself out of his depth.
Yeah.
I think his body language, the fact he won't change the system, as you say, that the stuff he said along the way. And on one hand, you have to praise the openness in press conferences because that's what we all want as journalists. We want straight answers. We want managers who are going to give us headlines, give us sound bites. But I think he's been too honest along the way. And what I think needs to happen now is that somebody on the hierarchy needs to pull him into the office. Hopefully this already happened on Monday morning after Derby and say, look, we have faith in you.
Yeah.
You're our guy. But ultimately, you've won 8 out of 31 Premier League games. So you need to find a way to change that. And if that means sacrificing your principles and changing the system, you need to do that because otherwise, we, the board, are going to have a big decision to make in the not-too-distant future.
And also, Andy's point, he's been saying, stop talking, mate. It's just, I know you're right. People want that, and it's great. It's great quotes for us. It's brilliant for talkSPORT. But I don't think it's doing him any favours. It's just he's putting too much.
And players will pick up on it. Players will use that as a sort of weapon against the manager, particularly those who aren't playing.
Thank you, Alex. It's available tonight, isn't it, Inside Devils?
It is, and it should be a good watch.
Yeah, it's our therapy session for Manchester United fans. If you need one of those on wherever you watch YouTube tonight and watch the guys in action. Thank you very much. Adrien Goldberg is coming in very, very shortly. He has a new book out, Where's the Money Gone? He'll be telling us more about that in a few moments' time. We're here with Toolstation, standing behind every single tradesperson in Britain. Next up, Toolstation. just been chatting to our guest of the blooded pigeon that landed on the pitch at the Hawthorns. Yeah, there's not something it's like you are the ref.
Well, something you get at the Hand and Flowers, Tom.
Yeah. A blooded pigeon. Do you want chips for that? Triple cooked chips. Adrien Goldberg is with us, seasoned broadcaster and journalist and author and Baggies fan. His new book is called Where's the Money Gone? A Battle for the Soul of English Football. Quite timely with a bin fire that's going on at Sheffield Wednesday at the moment, really, Adrien. You some of it, certainly initially in the book, is through the prism of Midlands football, isn't it? You talk about Wolves, you talk about the Villa, and you talk about your own club.
Yeah, and Birmingham City as well. But it starts off, I started off as a fanzine writer in the late 80s. Right. And, a thing that...
What was it called?
Off the Ball.
Yeah, very nice.
And West Brom in those days, we were going through a lot of bad times on the pitch, but we weren't a club that you associated with troubles off it, but lots of clubs were, not just in the West Midlands, but you had all this nonsense going on in the 80s. You'll be far too young to remember it, I know, but the likes of, Fulham Park Rangers was being proposed, this horrible merger, Thames Valley Royals and all this. And you had
Robert Maxwell,
wasn't it? And you had all these characters who seemed to ride roughshod over the rules of football, and the authorities wouldn't seem to take any action over them. So that kind of just something about that got into my brain, and I started writing about it in my fanzine. And then since the fanzine finished, really, in various outlets, I've tried to kind of discover more about different football owners, why football clubs go wrong. And although, it's fabulous to watch English football at the moment with great players and big transfer fees, also that sense that something maybe has been lost in football along the way. Anyway, all this came home to roost to me at the back end of 2023, when for the first time really in my viewing lifetime, West Brom were in financial trouble. We had a Chinese owner, Guochuan Lai, and at the 12th minute of a particular game in November, fans started holding up, just a little symbol, holding up the lights on their mobile phones and started chanting a very rude song, which I'm not going to repeat.
No, okay.
about Guochuan Lai. And that just set me off on this path of how has this come to my club? Why have we got a Chinese owner who never comes to the games? Who are all the shareholders who sit behind him? And it turned out there were apparently hundreds, including various local authorities in China. It was all a bit, a bit headbanging. So that set me off on the journey, finding out, as you say, crossing lots of West Midlands clubs, but also, looking then wider at Man City, Newcastle, Manchester United, Liverpool. And so on, and also clubs lower down the pyramid, the likes of Northampton Town, who were saved by their fans. They would not exist, really, without their fans. And another club, I've just been reading the chapter on AFC Wimbledon. What an incredible story that is. So I've tried to see the story through the prism of supporters. Yes, it's about money. Yes, it's about global finance and politics. But really, I'm a fan. I'm not an accountant.
Do you feel, I'm sure you've looked into what the regulator can and can't do. Do you think the regulator's going to have teeth, Adrien, should it come along? Are you a bit sceptical about that?
Well, both. I'm in favour of a regulator. I mean, that regulator should be the Football Association.
Yeah, that's right.
And the FA, to me, has kind of gone AWOL all over the years. I mean, you look at, going back to that Wimbledon story, the FA and the Football League, you could see that coming a mile off. That happened in 2002. You could see that coming a mile off, and yet they did nothing about it. And the FA and the Football League both said, when an independent commission gave the go-ahead for the move to Milton Keynes, we don't agree with this. We think it's wrong. Well, you're the blinking regulators of the game. Why haven't you done anything?
The fit and proper persons test is not fit for or proper for purpose.
No.
So in my experience, I've always gone, why do people want to own football clubs? Sometimes it's a property deal. Sometimes it's money, I don't know where they think they're going to make the money from, but I feel like people get sold that dream very often.
Yeah, well, I think there's a bit of that. Yeah, the owners and they always say, no, it's not called a fit and proper persons test. It's the owners and directors test. But of course, as fans, we want it to be.
They should never have changed the name of it.
Exactly. Really? And it is weird, isn't it, the way that a whole catalogue of rogues and chancers have found their way into football. You got to say, on the other side of that, there are some really good people who take over football clubs, who acknowledge that they are custodians of the club and who just want to do better for that club over a period of time. Interesting quote recently from West Brom's relatively recent owner, Sheelan Patel. He took over a little while ago, and he said that when he goes to dinner parties and people ask him, what do you do for a living? And he says something like, I create software for health companies. The eyelids droop.
Yes,
oh, really?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's move on. If, on the other hand, he says, I own a championship football club in England, people want to talk to him about it. So it does give people, and I don't mean this in a bad way, it gives them a little bit of standing, a little bit of status. I'm cool with that, as long as they respect the traditions and the culture of English football.
Well, that's why that German model of is it
51%?
Yeah. That seems to work. That hybrid seems to really work.
Yeah, well, I went to Frankfurt. There's a chapter in the book about my trip to Frankfurt and about the creation of 50+1, because 50+1 hasn't always been there. 50+1 emerged at the same time as money started flowing into English football from broadcasters in the early 90s. So too, it started flowing into Germany. Obviously, we didn't have a monopoly on satellite broadcasting and so on. And clearly that money has been great in a lot of ways for football, and it's been great for players and for agents and so on. But in Germany, they kind of said, what are we going to do with this money? And unlike in England, they said, OK, the football clubs can separate themselves off as private businesses because they want to be able to spend the money and bring in the best players that they can and spend it on decent wages. But the sports club to which the football club belongs, which is the model in Germany, that's always got to be at least 50+1% owned by the supporters. So, I mean, Germany's, it's hardly a communist model. Germany spends loads of money on players. It's very similar to English football, but when it comes to really important decisions, the fans can have a say. And one example of this, and it wasn't just because of 50+1, it's also because their fans, I think, are more willing than English supporters to kind of kick off.
Yeah.
But they used to have Monday night football in Germany, and you think of the size of Germany and some of the distances involved in travelling for away fans, and they just wouldn't have it. They staged silences, or alternatively, instead of silences, they blew whistles for the first 15 minutes of a game to make it really disorientating for the viewers at home. And in the end, the German authorities said, you know what? Fair enough. Of course, television's going to have a say. It's putting money into the game, but let's knock the Monday night football on the head. So I just think there's kind of a bit more of a balance between interests of supporters. And
the reaction to we're going to have to go because we're running late on time. But the reaction to the Super League maybe showed to an extent that fan power can have an impact. You're right. It rarely happens here. We just sort of shrug our shoulders and put up with it most of the time.
I think so. That was incredible, I thought.
Yeah.
And
more of that would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and there's a chapter there on the Liverpool supporters in particular who now have consultation with their board written into the constitution of their club. So that's one big gain for Liverpool fans out of the Super League fiasco. But yeah, it was great to see fans kicking off about that.
Where's the money gone? The Battle for the Soul of English Football by Adrien Goldberg is available now. And Ryan Mason was one of our own at Spurs. You happy with the job he's doing at the Bakeries?
I tell you what, West Brom are right up and at him in the Championship. There's no messing with them. They're an aggressive side, the right kind of aggression. If we could find a goal scorer, we'd be right up there. But it's good. Good on Ryan Mason, absolutely.
Lovely. Good to see you, Adrian. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Adrian.
Great to see you, fellas.
Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Bob Cryer, son of Barry, joins us in a moment. We're going to tell you more about that. And Lars Sivertsen joins us as we head around Europe ahead of the return of the Champions League this evening. Just a reminder, Athletic Bilbao Arsenal is our early kick-off on talkSPORT 2 at 5:45.
Champions League is back on talkSPORT today. Ahead of his first game in the competition, Thomas Frank says he'll give himself 2 minutes to enjoy the anthem.
Of course, you'll remember the 99 Man United triple, crazy win against Bayern, the Liverpool Milan 3-3. So there's so many Champions League memories, so many big games.
Spurs host Villarreal tonight. Meanwhile, Christian Romero admits he was wrong to criticise Tottenham's ambitions last season. He just wanted them to act like a big club. Now, Captain Romero says he's happy in North London. Meanwhile, it's still unclear whether Bukayo Saka can play again after his hamstring problem. Arsenal's injury crisis continues. Odegaard's now unavailable this evening, while Havertz, White, Jesus and Saka were already out. But with 2 goals at the weekend, new signing Martin Zubimendi is growing into his role. Here's David Raya.
He knows how to play for the team. He doesn't play for himself, and his positioning defensively and attacking is incredible, so it's a pleasure to have him.
Elsewhere, the British Grand Prix will stage a sprint race next year. Silverstone held F1's first ever sprint race in 2021, but it hasn't been on the schedule since. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will not play in next week's British Open due to medical reasons. The opening rounds start on Monday. There's more at talksport.com.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. I've been trying to think of the sports films of the late, great Robert Redford. The Natural, obviously, the baseball movie where he plays...
I don't think I've ever seen that, Paul.
That's a good film. It's good, yeah.
What does he do?
He plays with a bat that basically is moulded from a tree that was struck by lightning.
Oh, like Billy's Boots.
Yeah, it's a bit
thing.
Billy's.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But Butch Cassidy's All the President's Men. I mean, there's
what a film! That's in my top 5 films. All the President's Men.
Yeah,
if that's ever on, you can't help but watch it.
Yeah,
just a brilliant film.
So yeah, some career.
Yeah, Butch Cassidy's a great film. Yeah.
Now, before we chat to Bob Cryer and bring some emails, texts, and tweets, I've had the World Athletics Championships unfolding, of course, in Tokyo.
Yes,
the day is coming to an end, and Michael Waddock is summing things up for us now.
In the women's 400 metres, Amber Anning has qualified for Thursday's final. She finished second in her semi in a season's best time of 49.38. She couldn't get close to the USA's Sydney McLaughlin-Lavrone. She broke the US record running 48.29. That's the quickest time this season. The Olympic champion over the 400-metre hurdles could now be targeting the world record over the flat, set in 1985. Great Britain and Northern Ireland's Yemi Mary John and Victoria Uhuragu failed to go through. Meanwhile, Olympic silver medalist Matt Hudson-Smith won't be in the men's final. He's looked out of sorts, and whilst in contention in his semi in the home straight, he struggled over the closing stages and finished 6th. Sam Reardon and Charlie Dobson failed to progress too. Earlier on today, better news for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Ben Patterson and Max Bergin both qualified for the semi-finals of the 800 metres.
Thank you very much, Michael. And, of course, coverage gets underway once again tomorrow morning, and we will keep you updated. Now, Charlie.
In the back gardens, do you want a bit of that?
A couple of those back gardens. Rod Stewart has got a 100-metre track in his back garden. He wants to become the fastest man over 80 at 100 metres.
Paul from Croydon's been in touch.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace replaced their old wooden seats in the Arthur Waite says donkeys. Oh, donkeys years ago.
Yeah, the Arthur Wake donkeys.
Arthur Wake and the donkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, a year ago. Donkeys years ago.
Yeah.
And I bought one row. Was it? I bought rows of 3. How many? Doesn't quite.
Yeah, maybe you should have out of.
Right.
Yeah.
I bought 3 rows of 3, including my own numbered seat, and bolted them onto walls in my garden. We got there in the end, Paul. I bet that looks lovely, Paul.
It does. We did get there in the end. I don't know what the hell you were talking
Well,
about.
it said, and I bought tea wet 1 rose. That's what he's put. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Should have read it first.
You should have read it first. Anyway, let's move on to the late, great Barry Cryer, a man who rode the comedy world like a colossus for many, many years.
Everything. Musicals, and wrote for Morecambe and Wise, and did his own stuff, his own jokes, everything.
I was telling you earlier on, when I was a young lad, I was writing some stuff for Frankie Howard. And we wrote some. He asked us to write some stand-up for him, sort of cabaret stuff.
Oh yeah.
So me and the guy I was writing with, we wrote this stuff, and Frank was notoriously insecure.
I will see.
And worried about doing new material.
Wouldn't back himself.
Which is why he said, "Oh no, yes, because you see," for about 30 years. So he was very nervous about new material. And I was working at the Beeb at the time writing, and Barry popped his head round the door, and he said, and he just say hello. He was in the building, and he said, I've read some of your stuff. He said, Frankie biked it over. But he said, yeah.
Oh, really?
He biked
To
over
check it out?
Him, to Galton and Simpson. He biked it over to people he trusted. To see
new
whether
young
he should,
guys, the hot young writers.
Because he wasn't sure.
Oh, very good.
But anyway, and I got to meet him a few times along the way, and a fantastic character and great company. And now his son, Bob, wants to make a film of some of his dad's best jokes.
Yes, so
which he would share we'd phone up, wouldn't he? Regular chats with comedians, and
he'd always have a joke. If you gigged with him, or you saw him on a TV run through or something, wherever you were, he'd go, "Do you want to hear a joke?" And you go, "Yeah, of course I want to hear a joke," because that's what comedians don't tell jokes, Paul. Backstage, you might then people might be shocked to hear that.
What about the jokes?
No one's telling jokes.
Let's have a chat with Bob Cryer now. Good afternoon, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
Good afternoon, gents. How are you?
Yeah, very well. It's very nice to speak to you.
Yeah, we're good.
Nice to speak to you too.
So yeah, he was a great man in a time when jokes have become a bit passé and no one really tells them anymore. Sadly, we all love a joke, but no one tells them anymore. Your dad kept the flame alive, didn't he?
Well, it was very much a very traditional way of delivering your comedy back in the day, of course, wasn't it? But I think that comedians still like jokes. I know that, as Charlie was saying, very often backstage or in the green room, comedians will tell jokes to each other, but they won't necessarily do it on stage, which is a very different, forum. In front of an audience, there's an expectation of one-liners or observation, or it's surreal humour or whatever the trend is of the time. But there was something about Dad and jokes that it never really left him. He sort of kept that part of his comedy true front and centre to what he did, and it really became his calling card. As you said, you get a phone call from Dad, usually on your birthday, which family included, which would say, "Have you heard the latest?" And it's a bit like in vinyl record shops, where you get the now playing. So he had the one that was this week. And he'd tell you that, and then usually he'd say, "Wishing you a happy birthday," and I hear you're 60 or 50 or whatever, and he'd say, "You don't look it. I'm sure you were once," and then he'd say, "I'll let you go back to your day," and then he'd sign off, and some people didn't even speak to him until their next birthday.
So it's better than a card.
I know he wrote for people, Bob, and I know he gagged up scripts and that sort of stuff. A lot for people. Where did he? Do you know where he got his jokes that he would tell from, his sort of Shaggy Dog Story style jokes?
Oh, well, I couldn't tell you that, obviously, because I'd have to, be a legal, minefield. But, well, he did always say, "I'm an archivist. I'm not a joke teller," that these jokes would find their way.
Well, it's like folk music, isn't it? It's like folk music. It needs to be retold for it to live on.
That's the perfect legal defence. This is an oral tradition that we don't know. Somewhere back in the mists of time, someone observed a cockerel, or someone trying to cross a road.
Yes,
and, they decided that there was some sort of foible there that they wanted to draw attention to. So let's blame Hans Christian Andersen. Let's say it all started with him. But I suppose he was a very clubbable individual, even though he didn't necessarily join clubs. He said, I would join one and then beat yourself over the head with it. It's a bit like Groucho Marx. I didn't want to be part of a club.
That would have me as a member.
Exactly. So, but his club was the pub usually, and you won't be surprised to learn that quite a few of the jokes that Dad stumbled across as he was leaving, someone trod on his hand as he was exiting the pub, and said, Barry, don't forget this one before you go. Yeah. And he would take out his packet of Consulate, which for the teenagers out there is menthol cigarettes, which Graham Gardner always used to say he smoked menthol cigarettes because they had white packets, and there was more space to write on.
Yeah.
And he called them his filofags. So Dad would take out his biro and scribble that down. And I still, to this day, I've got some postcards and old fag packets stuffed in a shoebox.
Oh, fantastic.
Where he'd write these things down. I couldn't make head nor tail of what he was trying to get across to himself, but he knew that brain computed it, and it would be the algorithm of its day. If Dad was on WhatsApp or if he was on social media, I mean that's where he would be trading his jokes and his comedy. But in order to put this film together, I've actually collected together some of the postcards and some of those fag packets to put them into a sort of an art, A3 printout, which is signed by some of the cast, to give away to those that want to pledge some money towards it to make it happen. Because as we know these days, the best way of getting projects together often is to go back to the fans. And Dad, amazingly, 3 years later, it's there's still a lot of them out there that miss him and speak very warmly about him. I'm very lucky.
Yeah. Indiegogo.com has got all the details there. People can make a donation. There are kind of, as is often the case, there are various sort of stages and amounts. You get the setup for a tenner, the punchline for 25, the tag for 50, the gag. So so there's different amounts that you can give, and you get obviously perks.
I've sort of broken them down into those kind of categories, and I'd sort of have Dad on my shoulder every now and again, wincing if anything comes across as too pompous, because he always said, I hate analysing comedy. Analysing comedy is like dissecting a frog. Nobody laughs and the frog dies. But at the same time, it's comedy fans, and I think you'll all recognise those kind of headings. But they offer, differing scales of involvement, all the way up, dare I say it, to executive producer with a walk-on part.
Oh, very nice. You're directing it, Bob, and you've got some big stars to tell his jokes. That's how it's working, is it?
I've spent most of my life as a freelance actor and writer without ever having to bear responsibility for these things. But in the short time I've been spending producing and putting together my my directing template for this, I've realised that I don't want to misspeak about who's involved, because should they their schedules not allow. But all I will say is that venerable names, your friends and mine, people like Jack D and Harry Hill and Rob Brydon, have all thrown their hat in the ring to lend their support, shall we say.
Brilliant.
We've even got some young newcomers like Alison Steadman and Judi Dench and Hugh Bonneville, who we might give a run out if we decide that they're up to the task. But I think the euphemism for me is they've lent their support.
Excellent.
And we hope to get them on set in the near future.
Bob, thank you very much. Indiegogo.com, Joke the Film. That's all the details there, and all the different ways you can pledge. But good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Bob.
You're very welcome, gents. Thank you so much.
Bob Cryer there on his dad, the late great Barry Cryer, and get involved. I think it's a film we'd all like to see. It'd certainly give us a laugh. Lars Sivertsen joins us next. We're going to talk Champions League. It's back tonight, of course, in its new format. How did it work out for Lars last year? What's he expecting from this year? We'll find out in a few moments' time. We're here with Tool Station, ready to help at over 580 stations nationwide. Next stop, Tool Station. I always said I dreamed of the day they played that at Spurs.
Yeah.
And the first time they ever played it was a kind of prelim round game. We had to pre-qualify. The tickets were knackered on the gate.
Yeah.
They wouldn't work. So I missed it the first
Missed
time.
it.
I got there proper.
Hear it from the outside.
I never take
Didn't even hear it.
Never take it for granted, Charlie.
It's great, isn't it? It's what you go to football for. It's what you dream of.
To be at the top table.
The very top.
Joining us now to look ahead to this season's Champions League competition is European football expert Lars Sivertsen. Hi, Lars.
Hey, Lars.
Hey, great. It's good to have it back, isn't it?
Oh,
Champions
yeah,
League.
lovely.
Tremendous.
Really
It was a bit of a lump in the throat moment when it does get played at your place after years of thinking you'll never, ever get into it. But, it's going to be an interesting one. What did you make of the new format last year, Lars? Are you a fan?
I feel the jury's still out. There were plus sides and there were negative sides. Starting with the positives, I do think it felt like we had a little more variation in terms of the matchups we got, doing away with teams facing each other home and away in the group stage. There seemed to just be more variety. I do remember feeling last season that pretty much every week there were matchups that made you go, oh, that's interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. So there was a little bit more variation in that. That's the positive. And I remember enjoying a lot of the match days last season. That was positive. I do wonder if it's not... You are playing a lot of extra games to eliminate fewer teams than you were doing before. So I do think there's going to be a lack of jeopardy. They're hoping to turn the last day of the group stage into this giant sort of anything can happen, mad sort of day of football. We'd had some jeopardy, but I do feel that fell a little bit flat, and I suspect it's going to continue to do that because there are enough games there that the good teams, the ones you expect to go through, they can screw up a couple of times and still be fine.
Yeah.
So I suspect we're going to have. I am a little bit sort of worried that we're not going to have as much jeopardy at this early stage, but I can't lie. I did enjoy the football last season when we had it like this. So I'm positive that it'll be the same again.
I mean, PSG are living proof of exactly what you've said. It made a terrible start and then went on and won the thing. So, there will be teams tonight.
I suppose it depends where you are in your cycle of your season. If you've got loads of injuries, you can still come back.
Yeah.
So you might want to front load and get ahead early so you can take it a bit easier later on. I mean, there's many ways to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, I was just about to make the point that also because of the way it works, even the smaller teams, like if you just sneak into the competition, if you're from a smaller country, you might get absolutely done by the draw and have two like incredibly good teams in your group and one quite good team, and then you end up having no chance and just getting 1 or no points. And that's something that happened quite a lot to the smaller teams. And whereas now I do feel like even the also rounds, the smaller teams end up getting a couple of games where they feel they can get something. And I was going to illustrate that point by pulling up my country's team, Bodø Glimt's fixture list, but then I realized they're playing Spurs, Galatasaray away, Monaco, Juventus, Dortmund, Manchester City, and Atletico Madrid. So they've got Slavia Prague away this week, tomorrow night. I mean, that's the one. That's
a 6-pointer.
If you're a Bodø fan, you're probably fed up with seeing Tottenham again, but. You do get to see those teams, and with respect, they're unlikely to win the thing. So the idea of having all these glamorous sides to play it is kind of what the competition's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, I do wonder how you feel as a Bodø Glimt fan when you see that draw, because they have been absolutely done by the fixture computer here. But on the one hand, I'm sure the club would have wanted a few more winnable games just for financial reasons. But as a fan, of course, you're going to have memories of you're from a small town in Norway and you faced all these big names. So that's going to be pretty incredible.
Surely that's just the dream when we want to play all these big sides on a level playing field.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
On a very cold playing field in some cases.
Cold plastic playing field.
Plastic playing field.
The dream.
So look, when it comes to trying to guess who's going to win it, obviously PSG, could they retain it? Barca, Real Madrid, Liverpool, lots and lots of teams being. But what about, is there a side out there you think, you know what, I think they could have a very, very good tournament? So something that maybe no one's talking about, Lars.
I mean, if you look at the outsiders, and I guess you have to confine that to teams outside of the big 5 European leagues, let's say no teams from England, no teams from Germany, Italy, Spain, France. It's I always look at the big Portuguese teams. I always look at somewhere like Benfica, who have a lot of quality in the squad, and if they get it together, that they could make a run. I also just kind of wonder, when will Galatasaray finally start doing something in Europe? Because I've been, like, earlier this year, I went to Istanbul and I went to one of their games, and when you're there in that giant city where there's Galatasaray merch and Galatasaray flags all over the gaff, and you go into that massive stadium and you feel this incredible atmosphere, and you see on the pitch there's some big names there. They've got the finances to bring in some good players. You think everything is really here for this team to be a genuine force in Europe, but they just very rarely manage to do that. And I'm not convinced they'll do it this year, but I think out of the obvious names, let's just take them completely out, the teams from other leagues, I feel like Galatasaray is the one that at least have the infrastructure that they should be able to make an impact. I'm not saying win it necessarily, but I'd like to see them, be what I think they can be in this tournament.
Finally, Lars, who is your money on? Not among the dark horses, among the favourites. Who do you see winning it?
I'm not sure if they are a favourite or a dark horse. I like Arsenal for it. I've got to say, I quite like Arsenal for the Champions League this season. Arsenal, the last 2 seasons, have had the strongest sort of defence in the Premier League in terms of XG conceded. So they have that really, really solid defensive base, and they've just added a little bit more up top now, so they're not quite so vulnerable to injuries. I thought it was interesting at the weekend. Okay, they were only playing Nottingham Forest, but they were missing Havertz, they were missing Saka, they were missing Odegaard in the second half, but they now have players who, when they're out, they can do it, so they're not as vulnerable to injuries. I think it's really difficult to predict now because a lot of things are going to happen, obviously, but that combination of having a rock-solid defense and just having a little bit more going forward means boring answer maybe, but I kind of like Arsenal for it.
No, I can see your point. I mean, they've done away with that thing where often, with respect to Kivior, you think, so-and-so's out, we got a couple of weeks or 3 weeks of Kivior. None of that. There's players like Mosquera, good quality that can step up and play.
There's not, and there are times in the Premier League where you feel they could be a little bit more attacking. Like when they went away to Anfield, they were maybe a little bit too cautious in that game. But it's a knockout tournament, right? So sooner or later you get to the point where it's a knockout tournament, and I just think that solidity they have could see them be a real contender.
We will catch up with you during the tournament, Lars. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lars.
Anytime, guys. Bye.
European football expert Lars Sivert and Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent are going to bring you all the best build-up to talkSPORT 2's early kickoffs, including Athletic Bilbao against Arsenal at 5:45, with Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man City and all in action on the talkSPORT network this week. Right. So that's Champions League Drive. Get all the team news, previews and reaction first on Champions League Drive from 4. Still to come with us, we will be chatting to Larry and George Lamb, father and son, actor, and somebody's out of showbiz now, George. You'll tell us what he's up to.
Okay, yeah.
Cameron Humphreys of Ipswich Town joining us for a chat. And Joey Page, Spurs fan, is there in action against Villarreal this evening. A comedian popping in to see us too.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. Arsenal go into another Champions League campaign with one particular millstone around their neck. They're one of the biggest clubs not to have won the competition. Does that put extra pressure on Mikel Arteta to deliver?
Well, that tells you with our long history how difficult it is, because we haven't won it yet, and that's the opportunity. That's how I see it. The pressure is the opportunity that thrives. That energy, that willingness to be better every single day, to make decisions that are in that direction.
This afternoon's campaign opener away to Athletic Bilbao is live on talkSPORT 2. Tomorrow, that's where you'll hear Chelsea's trip to Bayern Munich, a rerun of the 2012 final. The Blues have added Facundo Buonanotte to their squad for the competition. The season-long loanee from Brighton replaces injured Dario Isugo, who's undergone thigh surgery. Now, Chris Wilder has spoken for the first time since his return to Bramall Lane. The three-time Sheffield United manager says the priority is to improve the players' morale.
They're down, they need lifting, and one of the reasons I'll come back, I'm excited about what can be achieved, and looking forward to it.
Rather like that scamp Max Scott is improving my morale right now. Wilder's Blades take on Charlton in the Championship on Saturday, live on talkSPORT 2.
talkSPORT News.
Hollywood icon Robert Redford has died, aged 89, and Donald Trump is en route to the UK. Amelia's back at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Get a free vehicle safety check at all of our 600 centres nationwide to keep you safe on the road. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Scattered showers in the north and the west, otherwise generally dry and sunny, warm in places.
Good afternoon, it is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We're in the final hour. Joey Page pops in, comedian and Spurs fan. Tottenham are in action this evening, and I'll be off to the game straight after this.
Oh, yeah, going in hope, travelling in hope, Paul.
Yeah, Tottenham have just contacted me, trying to sell me some Champions League swag in the club shop.
What are you going to buy?
I don't know if I am.
A hat?
They're giving me a T-shirt.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can have a nice hoodie. I can have a polo or a mug. Just some of the items.
A mug sounds about right.
They're trying to flog me on match night, so I'll see. I may have a.
Has it got Spurs on it? Is it Spurs Champions League?
Spurs Champions League.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Got a nice hoodie, Paul.
You think so?
You in it on Thursday? It'd be nice for the birthday spread.
Okay, yeah.
Put it every time you play the birthday spread. You get your Champions League mug out.
That's it.
A flex.
Good idea. Now. However you watch telly, you can now watch talkSPORT from Samsung and LG TVs to Fire TV, Chromecast and Apple TV, or just grab the app on Android TV and Google TV. We're even on Prime Video. talkSPORT, live on your screen as well as your speakers. Still to come this afternoon. So we're having a chat with Joey Page later on, looking at that match and more. We'll have a Paddy's Pick. Larry and George Lamb will be chatting about something that I believe could be competitive sport. So we'll tell you more about that later. But it is EFL Youth Development Week.
Yeah, this is interesting, Paul.
Yeah. I mean, you're a fan of Torquay United.
Yes.
You've benefited for some good young players that need game time.
Very much.
Maybe playing a bit of men's football.
Yeah, when you get one and they
you've seen
understand the level.
Through.
Yeah, when you get a loanee and they understand the level, they can change your season.
Yeah,
they really can, because they're a different. And often, what will happen is, it's not always, but often they'll turn up and it'll take them 2 or 3 games to understand they're playing against men, they're taking food off someone else's table, they're keeping someone else out of the, and you go, oh yeah, that's good. I can see when they go back to their home club, it's absolutely great for them.
Yeah. Well, here to chat about his career and his work through the youth ranks is Ipswich Town's very own Cameron Humphreys. Hi, Cameron.
Hello, Cameron.
Hi, you guys. You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
You had a good loan. You went to Wickham, didn't you? And nice. They loved you there. I think you got sort of Young Player of the Year and everything, a couple of awards, because not all loans do work out. Players go there, they don't get the game time. Maybe it doesn't work out, but do you feel it was a useful thing for you to do?
Definitely. Yeah, I think I'm a lot better player than I was when I went out on loan at the start of last season. It was a good time for me to go out on loan. Obviously, with Ipswich doing so well and getting promoted to the Premier League, my minutes wouldn't have been as much. So I think for the next step in my career, it was definitely the right thing to do.
What is it about it? Is it regular football, getting some rhythm at a good level? Is it a bit like Charlie says that you are, you're playing against men, you're being roughed up a bit? There's different aspects to the game. Does that all feed into it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of everything. Obviously, you get a lot from training with the high quality players that here at Ipswich definitely helped me. But there comes a point where you need to go out, you need to play men's football, you need to prove yourself, really. So I felt the club felt that it was the right time for me to do that, and it ended up going really well at Wycombe last season.
And I take it they carefully monitor that. I mean, obviously we know Kieran McKenna's got a certain way of playing, and he doesn't, he wants you to come back and be the same player, doesn't he? So I'm sure they monitor the whole thing very carefully.
Yeah, I think there's a process that goes on kind of even before I'm sent on loan, where I kind of will speak to different people at the club. They'll speak to Wycombe and get a rough idea of what that's going to be. Make sure I'm trying to go into the best environment possible.
Is there are you in sort of a WhatsApp group or a Snapchat group with some of your fellow youth players at Ipswich saying how each other's loans are going on or the respective levels?
Yeah, I think me and another lad, Elkan Baggott, was out on loan both in League One last year. We'd call each other. He was in Blackpool, so I didn't see him very often. Sometimes it's good. We're in kind of similar situations, young players going out on loan. So it's good to speak to him during the season.
What's your story, Cameron, in terms of youth development, how you came through the ranks? How old were you when you got picked up? Were Ipswich your first club?
Yeah, so Ipswich when I was 7, just playing local football. And so it's been kind of as long as I can remember. I've been at Ipswich. A lot of really good coaches along the way. Some still here, some moved on. But kind of up until the loan last season, it was just being at Ipswich.
7 years old. Would you watch old footage of you? I'm sure your folks still got footage of you at 7 playing for the academy teams and stuff. Is it weird to watch back? It's such a long time ago now, from your point of view.
No, it does feel a very long time ago. Even pictures from kind of each year, squad photos, the players change. There's a few games that I haven't watched in a while, but it's definitely out there somewhere.
And the drop-off rate for players is actually quite high, isn't it? So when you're sent out on loan, it must be actually quite a boost of confidence that they're thinking of you for the actual squad and for the actual team, that they want you to get those edges knocked off you.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said before, you could look at each squad photo since I was 7, and there's probably half the teams different in each one. So there is quite high turnover, and I think a couple of seasons before I ended up going on loan, I was able to play a few games for the first team and sort of get a taste of it. It was nice to then go out and get a full season to really kind of show what I can do.
I saw some comments from the manager saying that he wants you involved this season, so that must be nice to hear.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, with the players we've bought over the last few seasons, it's a fairly new squad. So I'm getting to know them, they're getting to know me, the quality of play is really high. So it's definitely not going to be easy to get minutes, but I'll be competing and trying to get as many as I can.
Big win over the week. A tough start for you guys, but a big win over the weekend, wasn't it? Hopefully that's a bit of a turning point for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said before, there's so many new players. We're probably not going to be at our best in the first few games. Really nice to get the first win. And it's been going to be another good week of training and trying to build some even more momentum.
Have you got any advice for any young players? There may be some people listening this afternoon, maybe on the way home from school or whatever, or in a kind of young in an academy system.
Yeah.
What have you learnt in all the years you've been involved in youth development?
Well, obviously everybody's pathway is different. I've obviously been at Ipswich the whole time. There's people who have joined later. I was nearly released when I was younger as well, so it never goes smoothly. So I think it's more about just I tried to enjoy every day, enjoy all the experiences I had, and learn from all the coaches. A lot of them were very good to me and instilled a good work ethic about doing extras, whether that's on your own after school or if you get to come into a facility like this. But yeah, just trying to enjoy it, but also working as hard as you can.
You mentioned you were nearly released, and obviously a lot of players do get released. What turned it around for you? In what circumstances did you end up staying?
Yeah, so I think in the end, I was kept on, but there was a few coaches that, weren't too sure. I think partly it was physically, a bit of a late developer. But yeah, there was, a number of reasons. And in the end, they kept me on, which obviously I'm very grateful for. And then the next season almost gives you that bit of extra to maybe work a bit harder or do whatever you need to do.
So did you have a bit of a growth spurt? How old were you then? Did you suddenly sort of shoot up or bulk up? Or?
Yeah, so still aren't the biggest. I think one of the things might be just learn to use my body a bit more. Know that if I'm going to get into a bit of physical contact or fight with someone, that I've got to try and use different ways of coming up with the ball or moving the ball a bit quicker rather than getting into that fight.
And I know someone who's going through the academy system at another championship club, and I mean the club are on you, aren't they? Diet, everything. You've got to live your life right, get into good habits, do the right things, what you put in your body, all your food and drink and everything. And there's you've got your diet sheets. You've got to look after yourself on the way through the academy, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's getting more and more. There's obviously nutritionists now in for the first team and in for the academy. But I think that's only to benefit the players. Any small gains you can get at whatever age can definitely be beneficial.
And who's the best player you've come up against, Cameron? Who's the one you've thought, oh dear, might be a bit further to go than I thought?
Yeah, any cup games you've encountered anybody from sort of Premier League class?
Yeah, so we played a pre-season game a few years ago now. I think it was my first kind of game with the first team. And we played Palace and Zaha was playing that day.
Oh, no.
And so I think I come up against him once and he nutmegged me. So that was,
Well, you'd be disappointed if he didn't.
That's a badge of honour.
Of course it is, yeah.
That could be a lot worse. Well, look, we wish you well for the rest of the season. Cameron, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Cheers.
Cameron Humphreys there, Ipswich Town midfielder.
Keep an eye. We should sponsor him, Paul.
Yeah.
We should sponsor him. Sponsor his shirt.
Okay. That might be it's
Talk Sport onto it.
It's not like Torquay, mate. It doesn't cost about 50 quid. It's a championship side. It's probably let's find out how much it costs to sponsor an Ipswich Town shirt. Maybe the listeners can tell us. Imagine
we'll crowdfund it.
Do they even do that? I'm not saying it's Tim Pot because I'm not. But I'm not.
Let's find out how much it is to sponsor Cameron Humphreys.
Yeah.
You get your name in the matchday programme, Paul.
Nice, yeah.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Sponsored by. I think you should do it on your own. Save your money on your Champions League merch.
Yeah.
Put it towards Cameron's career.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I don't think he gets it. Ipswich get it. I've got nothing against Ipswich. I don't mind making them a little bit stronger.
Okay.
Yes, it's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie. Just another one of Charlie's good ideas. Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT.
Add it to the list.
We're talking a bit of Spurs later on. They're against Villarreal. You'll be kept in touch with that as Adrien Durham and the gang are around the grounds from 7 o'clock. But before that, Larry and George Lamb, father and son, join us for a chat. Dundee United may well come up, as will Gavin and Stacey. And dishwashers, all explained in a few moments' time. We're here with our very good friends at Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station. We're just chatting there to Cameron Humphreys of Ipswich Town. Of course, it was Ipswich who did for Sheffield United last week in brutal fashion. And Ruben Selles lost his job, and Chris Wilder has returned, of course, for the third time, 3 months after being sacked. He's been chatting to
even Darren Ferguson shaking his head.
Yeah, that's right. It's Alan Bailey country the way it's going. He's been speaking to the media today as Chris, and says his players are in big need of a lift after a difficult start to the season.
Their spirits need lifting, they need raising, they need galvanising. I think the supporters need galvanising as well, and hopefully this appointment will do that. The staff certainly as well, you know, working with the staff over a number of years as well, myself and now building that relationship. And with the players, you know, they're down, they need lifting. And one of the reasons, I'll come back, I'm excited about what can be achieved and looking forward to it.
Yeah, a bit humble pie for the ownership, but probably a sensible move in light where they are at the moment. So there we are. We move on then with our next two guests. We probably will speak about football and other projects, but we will start off in the realm of the dishwasher.
Oh, good.
Because
a battleground in our house, Paul. I don't know about you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little bit OCD about it.
Oh, you're good at that, yeah?
No, I think I am.
Yeah.
My missus says it's just the dishwasher. What's your problem? Just load it. But
I'm on her side of the argument here, Paul.
Everything has to be in the right place.
I'm dreadful at it.
I reshift it. I start moving stuff around. It really.
My argument is, well, we didn't have one growing up like you. My wife's quite posh.
Ah, okay.
We didn't have one growing up, so it's not in my DNA to be able to stack.
You had a tap in the garden.
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
you?
Exactly, Paul. Exactly.
Well, Larry may well have had a tap in the garden. I'm sure he didn't have a dishwasher when he was a kid in North London. Larry and George Lamb join us now.
In their garden, that was only the posh people. I was the dishwashing machine.
Yeah. I take it, George, you grew up with a top-of-the-range dishwasher
we had 4
in the kitchen.
dishwashers, mate.
Yeah.
And I was one of them. Yeah.
But it is, you're right. They've actually looked at the 5 flashpoints in this research. Overfilling, 31% overfilling.
Oh, yeah.
Cutlery direction, that's where I get upset. You could kill somebody and cut me main artery putting a knife like, What goes on which shelf? I get very sort of hung up about that. This is tapping right into my
We have
world.
Pint Alley in ours.
What's that?
The pint glasses go on their end in only one bit 'cause it's not high enough.
Pint Alley.
So we call that Pint Alley.
Okay, so where do you boys stand? Larry, where do you stand on loading the dishwasher? You hot on it?
Yeah, well, I'm hot on it because I'm a recent adherent to the whole ethos of using a washing machine.
Right.
You know, I grew up with hands in hot water washing up dishes, and then in the end I began to realise, especially when George is getting into the regenerative farming business, that, you know, I was wasting a lot of hot water to wash it the way I thought it was, the way it should be, and I had to start using the dishwasher, which I never would use. And so now I'm completely converted. And just for the record, he's a precision engineer. He's an architect. He's one of them who just bangs on relentlessly about how you're doing it wrong. Relentlessly about how everybody's doing everything wrong.
Yeah. I take it you're eco mode all the way then, George, are you?
I'm a relentless old banger. That's what I am. I'm more the kind of raccoon archetype, to be honest with you. However, I am, through this whole process of working with Eco on this whole study here, I'm starting to realise I've got to eat some humble pie, because if you're not packing it properly, not only do you have to listen to your loved one giving you grief about it, but actually it's not as efficient as it could be, and so as a result, it's detrimental to the environment. So it's not just about being a kind of dishwasher police. It is also about looking after the planet. So for once in his life, he's wrong.
Oh, there we are. Well, I like it when my wife likes it when people just leave stuff next to the dishwasher.
Oh, what do you mean?
Don't stack
like
it.
Someone's magically going to put it in
Fill
there.
the sink with it.
Yeah.
They leave it next
Wait
to
for the
it.
dishwasher fairy.
Yeah,
to come
exactly.
along
The
and put it
dishwasher
in.
fairy, George.
I think this is a telly show. I mean, I think you could have judges, good judges as to how well something's been packed or not. I'd watch it.
I'd watch it.
It's in the. It could be the new Bake Off.
Definitely around.
Well, yeah. Now let's try and
Celebrity wash off.
Yeah,
Yes.
very nice. I've seen that film.
That's a different show.
Don't Google it. Whatever you do.
I've come to fix the dishwasher, says Larry. So Dundee United.
Yes.
Yes. Now we're trying to get to the bottom of why Dundee United. Is that you, George? Is it?
That's me, yeah. So my mum's from Dundee, and my dad, he nowadays actually more so as he gets older, he'll watch like big games, but he doesn't really care about football. And so my mum's side of the family took me under their wing, and they made me a Dundee United fan. Now obviously Dundee is a small city. They were a very small team, but in the early 80s, when I was growing up, they had this whole run under a guy called Jim McLean, and they beat Real Madrid, they beat Barcelona, they beat Borussia Mönchengladbach. They went had a big run in the UEFA Cup, and they won the league. So yeah, it was quite a mad thing for them to do, and so I've got very fond memories of going to Tannadice since I was a little boy. He used to go up there and see his cousins who were wild boys from Scotland, and go with him. So he had to learn how to talk with a Dundonian accent. They go and whack him.
It's very cool team sport, isn't it?
It's a good team. Yeah,
it's very like in a very niche band, isn't it? Oh, you might not have heard of them.
Yeah, that's it. Do you wear the shirt now and again, George, or?
Only when I'm doing the washing up.
Right, okay, yeah, of course. So load in the dishwasher, put it on as extra. And of course,
then he went to Fulham, right? Then when he knew he had to be a fan of something in London. So he went down and made himself a part of there, wrote a fanzine and everything at Fulham.
Wow.
I was nuts for it.
Are you keeping in touch with Fulham these days?
I was honestly, I kind of I fell out of love with it a bit when Al Fayed bought it. So I was like pre-Al Fayed, and we were going all over the country and going to Macclesfield,
Jimmy Hill, the Jimmy Hill years,
the tail end of the Jimmy Hill kind of era, basically.
Wow,
and I loved. There was the same 200 or 300 people were travelling all over the country, and I felt like I was part of something. And then all of a sudden, when Al Fayed came in, obviously our fortunes changed dramatically. But all of a sudden, there was 20,000 people there, and it just didn't feel like my thing anymore. Yeah. However, when we did have that run under Roy in Europe, I went because I was like, you know what? Yeah. We might never do this again, and I don't want to say I missed it.
Larry, you're an Edmonton boy, which is Tottenham country. Did you ever go and watch them play?
A friend of mine is really involved in the overall ownership of it, and I remember I went along to a game with him, and as I was standing in the car park where all the bosses have their cars, and a guy said, "Do you see who that is over there?" And it was an older. I looked at him, an older gentleman signing an autograph for a fan there, and he had the club blazer and a tie on, and as I walked towards him, I realised it was Cliff Jones.
Oh,
wow. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, Larry Lamb, yeah, Cagney and Lacey." I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's such a long time that I've been the last
Could
time
well be.
Was after it was 1962.
Yeah.
And you were in the team back then." He said, "Well, you're not much of a fan, are you?" Eh?
Cliff's amazing. He was on the pitch at Swansea the other day doing press-ups.
Oh,
I think he's got to be nearly 90. He's an amazing man.
Wow, what a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Larry, we're legally obliged to ask you one question about Gavin and Stacey. I won at the NTAs the other night, and I will never, ever forget the time that Mick stood up in the church. Exactly. Do people now talk to you about that more than anything else?
Yeah, but the thing is, of course, the reason they had that scene which said Mick stands up and doesn't say anything is because they were terrified I'd forget my line.
What a moment. People celebrated it like a goal all around the country.
Yeah. So did I when I read the script. I said, stand up, don't say anything.
Let's be
waiting 50 years for this job.
Let's be boring and ask you the question. You're going to do any more, do you think?
Of Gavin and Stacey? Yeah. They're going to write more stuff, but then, they're hugely successful. They know how to write something that people like.
Yeah.
So, one of the big one of the big streamers has realised, sign them up.
Yeah.
They'll turn out something. It won't be the same, but it will. I bet you it will just really have as big a hold on the British viewing public. I bet you.
They can find a part for you. They find a part for George doing his Dundonian accent.
That'll be nice. Yeah, a Scotsman turns up.
Yeah,
I'll be his granddad.
Yeah. Fellas, lovely to talk to you. All the very best. Thanks
pleasure.
for joining us.
Lovely.
Thanks, gents.
Take care. There's Larry and George Lamb, their father and son, and Ecover, the company, have done that research. 31% overfilling, cutlery direction, 31%. Putting dishes in without rinsing. Don't really need to do that, actually, but let's not go into that. 28%. What goes on which shelf? That's a big one. General dishwasher know-how, which I have, the other half doesn't. The battle.
I think in each successful I think you're in a successful marriage, Paul.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be in a successful marriage. I think in each successful marriage, you have one person who cares how the dishwasher goes, and the other one who couldn't care less.
That's it.
About how the dishwasher goes. That's how it works. That's how you keep a happy marriage.
Joey Page joins a Spurs fan ahead of the game against Villarreal tonight, which we'll keep you in touch with on kickoff from 7.
The Champions League is back on talkSPORT today. Ahead of his first game in the competition, Thomas Frank says he'll give himself 2 minutes to enjoy the anthem.
Of course, you'll remember the 99 Man United triple, crazy win against Bayern, the Liverpool Milan 3-3. So there's so many Champions League memories, so many big games.
Spurs host Villarreal tonight. Meanwhile, Christian Romero admits he was wrong to criticise Tottenham's ambitions last season. He just wanted them to act like a big club. Now, Captain Romero says he's happy in North London. Meanwhile, it's still unclear whether Bukayo Saka can play again after his hamstring problem. Arsenal's injury crisis continues. Odegaard's now unavailable this evening, while Havertz, White, Jesus and Saka were already out. But with 2 goals at the weekend, new signing Martin Zubimendi is growing into his role. Here's David Raya.
He knows how to play for the team. He doesn't play for himself, and his positioning defensively and attacking is incredible, so it's a pleasure to have him.
Elsewhere, the British Grand Prix will stage a sprint race next year. Silverstone held F1's first ever sprint race in 2021, but it hasn't been on the schedule since. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will not play in next week's British Open due to medical reasons. The opening rounds start on Monday. There's more at talksport.com.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be gambleware.org.
Yes, time once again for Paddy's Pick.
Oh, great.
Our quiz in association with our good friends at Paddy Power.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask Charlie to identify a mystery sports personality who's made news headlines in the recent past, and he's Paddy's Pick of the week. Well, I'm taking it's the recent week. Charlie, you're going to get 5 clues to work out who it is. We're going to start with £50 in the pot, and for every clue you use without a correct answer, £10 gets taken away.
Oh, yeah, OK.
Paddy's Pick
get the format, yeah.
is all for charity. We're raising funds for the Rowcroft Hospice, South Devon charity, delivering end-of-life care and support to over 2,000 patients and their loved ones each year.
OK.
You've done very well for Rowcroft in the last couple of years, Charlie, so let's do it again.
See how we get on.
I'm going to turn the page now and see who it is and think if you've got an earthly of getting it right without me giving you some very heavy-handed clues. Yeah, I think you're all right. Well, you might be all right. This week's pick is a star striker who scored last weekend on return from injury. I could have given you a real massive...
On return from injury.
On return from injury. Ooh. On her return.
Should it have said that?
On her return.
Her return from injury.
I don't want to lead you down a blind alley for Rowcroft.
Now, I wonder which team for. Who scored on the weekend? I'm writing down two.
Been out for
2 names.
23 months.
Oh, 23. Oh, no.
Long break.
All right. So not either of the ones I'm thinking of at all.
Okay.
I was going to say Alessia Russo, but I don't think she scored at the weekend. No.
She's not been
injured either.
But she has been injured, but not recently. No. She has been the captain of her international team since 2019. So that should maybe see off the fact that it's not England.
Miedemar?
It isn't. She's had bad injuries, but again, this is not the one.
No.
Now, is this going to help? Top scorer for Australia with 69 goals.
She plays for Chelsea.
Yes, she does.
Oh, God.
Black hair.
Yeah, I know. She got married. Oh, God, what's her name?
Your wife would be a fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Sam Kerr.
Sam Kerr.
Thank you, yes. I think that's what Sam calls me, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
She says I'm a right Sam Kerr at times.
Yeah, of course she does. Yeah, Sam Kerr. I tried to help Charlie because, he's raising money.
I got there in the end, Paul. I think that was all right. That wasn't too much help.
30 quid we've got for Rowcroft. Played for a number of clubs in Perth Glory, Sydney FC, Chicago Red Stars and Chelsea. Has won 8 trophies at Chelsea, including back-to-back Women's Super League titles, as well as helping the team reach the UEFA Women's Champions League final for the first time in 2021. Out for a long time.
Yeah. Good to see her back
with a bang.
Yeah, very good.
The weekend. So there we are, 30 quid for Rowcroft. She's Paddy's pick of the week for getting back among the goals after 20-odd months on the sidelines, recovering from injury.
Man United, top of the league, top of the WSL.
I know, yeah. Exactly.
5-1 they won at the weekend.
£30 raised for the Rowcroft Hospice this week, thanks to our friends at Paddy Power, the official H&J betting partner. 18 plus only. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy's pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, BeGambleAware.org.
Now, the talkSPORT daily podcast had a bit of a refurb.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's all new.
Who's been in?
It's available now.
Yeah.
And among the guests this time, from the Coach Whisperer, which are really interesting guys. We had them in the studio a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
Not Shorts discussing whether... What's funny about that?
I'm not laughing. Carry on.
All I said was a man's name. Why is that funny, Charlie?
I don't know. I'm childish, Paul. It made me
KNUT nut shorts.
Look, carry on with the piece of...
Were you thinking they're nut shorts? They're...
I was thinking they're trying to think of a punchline.
Yeah. Not shorts.
They're
no,
not
they're
shorts.
not shorts.
They're
not shorts.
That's nacho cheese.
He discusses. He looks like Jurgen Klopp.
Oh, does he?
He has been mistaken for him before. He came in and saw us in the studio. Whether technology is ruining football, they said.
Does he make... The thing is, you don't have to look like Jurgen Klopp.
Well,
he could change that about himself.
He's German.
He doesn't have to wear the glasses.
He's German. He wears glasses, otherwise he'd walk into things. And he's got a beard, and that's a fashion choice. And there is a look of...
He could wear a different sort of frame. I think he likes it.
He also, he's taken a bit of a kicking here.
Leans into it.
He's come in all good faith to do the podcast. You've had a go at his name, and you said he's just...
I did not have a go at his name. His name made me laugh.
He also revealed about a cutting piece of technology that's being used by Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
To allow Fabian Hürzeler to speak to any of his players anywhere on the pitch at any time. Well, actually, it's the
not going very well so far, is it?
It's the training pitch. Whoever wrote this has got it hopelessly wrong.
Oh, right.
So, anyway...
You've thrown them under the bus now.
Yeah, I have. But I've not mentioned any names.
No,
I certainly haven't taken the mickey out of their name. No, it's a vest. It's vests. It's not,
and it's got a little speaker in it.
Sports bras with a little
sports bra. What,
they,
8 o'clock on a 10 till 1 on a.
They wear that the players wear. You know what I mean?
Has anybody seen
the data vest?
Oh yeah, the data vest.
Yeah, but they have a little speaker in them, and Hürzeler and other coaches can speak to the players individually or as a group during training.
It's too much. You don't need that.
Right,
you don't need that. That's too much, Paul. That's like
I think it was a great
micromanaging, helicopter parenting. They call that.
Was supposed to be about a 10-second read has turned into this for some reason. Charlie Baker always spoiling things.
I don't think you need to speak to every player individually.
Okay,
like that.
Well, I maybe should get
too much.
I should get you on the podcast as a follow-up. Head over to the talkSPORT app wherever you get your podcast. And listen to the latest episode. It'll probably do quite well now.
Do really well. Well, we've given it. Look, people are interested in hearing it now, aren't
Slightly might have thrown it away otherwise. So maybe you've done them a favour.
Exactly. I think we've pointed it up. They call that the Streisand effect.
Is that right?
We've brought attention to it, so it's going to happen.
Why
now,
the Streisand effect? Does she wear?
I can't remember the reason.
She wear a data vest?
It's when you're trying. It's when you're trying to bury something, but instead of burying it, you're bringing attention to it.
Okay.
Can't remember why. Do you want me to Google it while we're on airport? I don't think you want me to.
It's probably a bit of a dark story.
Probably is. I don't.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Let's turn to Tottenham Villarreal tonight. Joey Page, comedian's big Spurs fan, he's going to pop in and see us.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very shortly, as we said. Our first live game is at 5:45 on talkSPORT 2. That's when the Champions League kicks off for the home sides, Athletic Bilbao versus Arsenal. But we'll be talking Spurs with Joey in a few moments' time. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Next stop, Tool Station. Spurs play Villarreal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tonight. Before we chat to comedian and Spurs fan Joey Page, Thomas Frank was chatting to the media ahead of the game, and he talked about his own journey from the Championship all the way to the Champions League.
Of course, it's a fantastic, opportunity or experience tomorrow. I'll call it experience tomorrow. In many ways, you say. We played with Brentford in Championship at Griffin Park, small, compact stadium, and tomorrow we are playing in one of the best stadiums in the world, if maybe the best, again, in front of our fantastic fans. It's European night. We know they will be absolutely on it. It will be so special. So, really looking forward to the first 2 minutes and the Champions League anthem, and then his focus on the game.
Yes, I hope it's a full house tonight. I think they went on general sale. I don't know if Daniel's parting shot was to set the fans for the ticket prices, but it's £61 where I sit and watch the game tonight.
You know when he said, I'm looking forward to the first 2 minutes? Is that like the Champions League final when he gave away a penalty after 2 minutes?
Musa Sissoko, first 15, 20 seconds.
I hadn't even sat in my seat by that point.
No, I had sat down, but Joey Page has joined us, comedian Spurs fan. Hi, Joey. Yeah, there was.
How's it going?
I mean, that was just the ultimate. I mean, I don't like to use the word, but we're going to have to. The ultimate Spursy moment. We travel all the way to Madrid, and actually then change the laws of the game after it happened. The Musa Sissoko law change. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I drove there, so it took me like 3 days there, 3 days back. We went 1-0 down before I even sat in my seat.
What was the law change?
Where the ball hits
where the ball hits your arm, right? Yeah.
That's Amore. We were singing. So let's on that bit. They're back. Somehow they're back, despite finishing 17th and having an absolutely appalling season generally. Somehow we're in the Champions League. We should rejoice, shouldn't we, really?
Yeah, we should rejoice. I am rejoicing a bit, but also, I mean, I enjoyed last season a lot. I enjoyed the chaos.
You
in a lot of ways, yeah.
Oh.
And then I watched Ange on Saturday, and I was like, oh, maybe actually we're all right where we are.
if I'm Ange on Saturday, gone, I'm sitting in the stands.
Yeah,
I am not getting anywhere near that game on Saturday because he was never ever going to win that game, Paul.
Really? I mean, I think that's, but it would have been so easier to say, I'm leaving this one to the coaches. That's the mark of the man, really, isn't it? He stood there getting called all sorts by the Arsenal fans, but he toughed it out.
And also, if a Villarreal ticket £61, I don't know how much it would have been for him to sit in the stand at Forest.
Well, he got a bit of a payoff. No, he didn't, did he? Got no payoff. That was it. His contract.
I think he would have done, yeah.
Yeah, he would have done. But as he's straight back into work, the checks have stopped. Anyway, Joe, before we come back to Spurs, let's find out you're wrapping up your tour. You've got a big final show.
Yeah.
And you've got I see you're having a Joe Page lookalike aspect to the final show.
So basically, I'm putting on the show one more time because I've been doing stand-up for 20 years, coincides with the end of it. So I thought I'll hire a bigger venue than I need to.
Oh, that's nice.
And then panic about filling it and then come on here to push it. But also, I'm doing a lookalike competition. Some of my stand-up is about all the different types of people that I look like.
Yeah.
And so I went and did some flyer posting in my local area. I'm not going to say where in case they want to send me a fly posting bill.
You might get in trouble, yeah.
But so if you know somebody who looks a bit like Matthew McConaughey in True Detective, or Mark Owen, or
Mark Owen's a good one.
Thomas Turgoose with a moustache.
I think you've got a little bit of Tim Key in you as well. Right?
Oh, okay, I'll take that.
Can you see that?
Yeah. No. Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood with a moustache.
Tommy Fleetwood, yeah. It's the hair, I'm guessing.
That's Voltamada with some straighteners. I don't know.
That is your hair. If you take that cap off, that's not the hair.
No, I've actually. A lot of people think I wear hats all the time. Everyone thinks I'm like Terry Nutkin under it, but.
Nice reference for the kids.
Thank you.
You have been doing it 20 years.
That would be a great comic turn, though, if you just shave the top and kept the sides.
Yeah, maybe I will.
I mean, it's high price to pay, isn't it, for a laugh?
Maybe if I can get like an acting part as a sort of serial killer that needs that hair, I'll do it.
That's nice. 20 years in the game, Joey.
Yeah.
Your act was quite different when you started. I remember your act. It was quite. You were quite Noel Fielding-esque. You were friends with Noel at that point as well, and you've sort of become more mainstream as you go along. And I read an interview with you recently saying you feel like you've become a much better comic in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and I've gone method. Like, I've stopped speaking to Noel. I'm only friends with Rob Beckett now.
Oh, really?
No, I'm joking. No, you know, your tastes change over time, and also I was fed up of just being the novelty act in the middle, and I wanted to get good at what I do.
Yeah,
and I think I kind of have, but. You know, people can come and judge themselves. I'd love people.
If you haven't after 20 years, it's very much a waste of time.
Yeah. But you and I know some people that haven't. So
Andy Jacobs will be the first to tell you, as a radio presenter, he's no better now than he was on day one.
Oh, right.
And I don't believe I'm speaking out of turn.
Well,
he's the first to say. So, where's the big show that we can see you in action?
Yeah, so it's on the 26th. 26th of September at the Underbelly in Soho. It starts at 7:00, and I'm having Bilal, who I do my podcast with. He's my support act. But I've also got
Bilal Zafar. We've had him on a few times, Paul.
And then Adam from a band called Temples is going to do some live music for me, and there's going to be cocktail party in the bar afterwards, and somewhere in there I'm going to do my show as well.
Nice. Like a sort of old school,
a bit of a knees up,
like an old school knees up cabaret sort of.
Yeah.
What does he play? Your guy from Temples.
So they're like a psychedelic rock and roll band, but he's written some bespoke piece, which I'm gonna see him after this to see what he's made.
Right.
So if I don't like it, he won't be doing it. But
have you ever performed to a Tottenham player? You've never done the club end of season dinner?
No, I'd love that. But I tell you what, I did do once. I was doing a gig in a private members club, and I had to follow a musical act. I felt really bad for him because in the front row was Ronnie Wood.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, imagine that.
And he made me play rock, paper, scissors. I used to do a bit about rock, paper, scissors when I was surreal.
Wood?
And he was like...
Wouldn't he make it wood, rock, paper,
yeah. No, but he said he didn't know what it was, and he said, let's play knuckles. And I said, well, I'm not... a punch at geriatric man in the hands. If I break your hand, the insurance bill.
Stones tore off thanks to Joey Pace.
Playing knuckles, that's a good title for your autobiography.
Yeah.
A Waste of Life, or...
Playing Knuckles
with Ronnie Wood.
Yeah, that is a good show. That's a good title for a show. Playing Knuckles with Ronnie Wood.
Maybe that's what I'll write next. Looking for new material at the minute.
Any other celebrity, stuff you've met that you've got like that, stories like that for us? No, not now, but for the book.
Oh yeah, I'll think up something. Like maybe you, Charlie, when I came
I'm not famous enough.
No, but by then, who knows?
No, you never know.
So what about tonight then? How are you feeling about this? You can't make it because you're busy with that, but you're going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it. But the Juan Fourth derby, is it?
Juan Foyt, he's
back.
That's
it, yeah, he's back.
Oh, right, okay.
The only player, I think, ever to go from Tottenham to Villarreal.
He's been saying nice things. Well, Manos Solomon's gone now on loan, isn't he?
Oh, has he? Right, see, I didn't even...
He's probably going to be on the bench tonight.
Right, so, and then I'm just hoping that they can put Pepe in the Jed Spence penitentiary. Have you seen this?
Oh, yes.
The thing going around.
No, Nicola Pepe's playing really well at the moment.
Is he great?
Well, the last thing we want is Arsenal fans celebrating in front, ex-Arsenal players celebrating in front of him.
And one of the worst ones of all time. I'll go on record to say that now before he sticks one in the top corner.
Oh, yeah, he'll definitely score. Yeah. But full Neymar tonight. That's going to be.
He probably will. Yeah. And you're feeling very quickly, Thomas Frank. You're feeling good about Thomas Frank.
Yeah. I mean,
were you pro-Ange? Was it? You think it was the right decision to change?
I was pro-Ange, but I was just caught up in all the emotion of it. You know what I mean? Like, I loved it, but I think it's for the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, even against West Ham, before we scored, I was like, all we're doing is putting crosses in. And then we won comfortably, and it was nice. So I shut up quite quickly.
It's the new rock and roll, the long throw.
Long throws, crosses.
We're all sticking it in the mix.
Big front men.
Yeah, the ball's in play less, they've been saying. It's the knock-on effect.
Quite like it.
Good old Adidas kits are back for a lot of teams. It's like the 90s again. Oasis are back.
So, Joe, Joey, where can we find out all the information for your gig? Where do we go?
So just go to underbelly.com and the tickets are on the website. You can look at my Instagram, it's Joey Page Comedy.
You'll be kept in touch with that game and kick off with Adrian and the gang from 7. We've got Athletic Bilbao versus Arsenal 5:45. Brentford Villa in the Carabao Cup 8 o'clock on talkSPORT 2. Sports Bar at 10 straight after the game. We've got a fine Spurs fan coming in tomorrow. AJ Tracy joins us to reflect on the match amongst
the Hyperman.
Indeed. Thank you, Charlie. I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you, Joey. All the best for the big gig.
Thanks a lot.
Enjoy tonight. Thanks very much.
And you.
That is us. Coming up next, it is Champions League Drive, building up to all those big games. I'll see you with Andy tomorrow.